How much longer until defeat? Now pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side. Come on, pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side.
I'm hearing step into the night, but take a step and watch them run.
You never really met a man until you met his gun.
Those who are equipped with blessings of clean hands, forget they have yet to make amends.
Fans discover the making of a new age with no order. I'm checking the lines to cross, bringing new horror. Manipulate the narrative, it becomes imperative. One mistake and you may need declarative.
I think they're power driven, I think their grip is slipping. I think they want us to become a simple smile and listen.
Lies top with lies full of hate for the seat. How many do you believe?
How many do you believe?
Now pick a side. Come on.
This heat has got me twisted.
Blacklisted and blacklisted.
This heat has got me twisted. Blacklisted and blacklisted. Those who are equipped with blessings of clean hands, forget they have yet to meet demands. Those who are equipped with blessings of clean hands,
Yeah,
they have yet to make amends.
now pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side. What? Hey. Come on.
I think they're power driven. I think their grip is slipping.
I think they're power tripping. I think their grip is slipping.
I think they're power tripping. I think their grip is slipping. I think they want us to become a simple smile. Listen, now pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side.
What? Hey.
Come on, so pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side.
You better not call, cause I'm too busy tripping and sweating. Seeing visions of decisions as hard as the next. Heat has got me twisted, blacklisted and packed distant.
Persistent on the task at hand. I'm hearing buzzing all around, and the fuzz is underground. Never was one who does concede to the sound.
Lies after lies full of hateful deceit. How much longer until defeat? Now pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side. What? Hey. Come on, pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side. And when you watch out for yourself, you pick a side.
I'm hearing step into the night, but take a step and watch them run.
You never really met a man until you met his gun.
Those who are equipped with blessings of clean hands, forget they have yet to make amends.
Fans discover the making of a new age with no order. I'm checking the lines to cross, bringing new horror. Manipulate the narrative, it becomes imperative. One mistake and you may need declarative.
I think they're power driven. I think their grip is slipping. I think they want us to become a simple smile and listen.
Lies top with lies full of hate for the seat.
Hey, I'm Traube, FlaVR's virtual assistant. I write emails, I text. I'm on my quest to become an internet angel. Hello. Did I say that right? I don't remember what I said, to be fully honest. Hello, everyone. I'm not doing the greatest, fully honest. I've been really out of it lately. That's part of why I just haven't streamed in a bit over a week. Which probably also hasn't done me any good, considering it's been on my mind for like at least 5-6 days. But is what it is, I guess. Now, I'll turn off the stupid model. Wow! That'll be a fun thing to come back to if I ever press the filters button. There's a demo I want to play first. There's a demo I want to do today. Yeah, baby. This game's kind of quiet. Hold on. Hold on just a minute. Because like I don't hear anything, so gallery preferences. Better. Better. I'll be fully honest, I don't remember how I found this game. I've had it in my little will come back to for an interesting stream for a while. But this is Wholesome Monster Girl Academy. Let me read its description. A wholesome high school experience with monster girls set in a Catholic school. Befriend and try to romance with a harpy girl, dragon girl, slime girl, succubus, or a vampire. Along the way, you want to apply lessons from your faith to improve your relationship with God and the girls. You're trying to pull while getting closer to God, bros. I don't see how this can go wrong, guys. Welcome to the demo of Monster Girl Academy. All the Murakami demos finished, but there's obviously more scenes in the future and any grammar corrections. Please enjoy reading and let me know if any bugs, inconsistency, or criticism you have. Check up. I will follow the developer. Well, I was at the Discord channel. It was just a game on Steam. So let's begin. The final bell of my first week as a high school junior blares through the hallways. My ears are soon filled with hundreds of simultaneous conversations from students all over the school. I shove my books into my backpack and rush out of the classroom and leave to be free for the weekend. I'll probably spend my time gaming or see what my friends are up to. Not that we're super close or do anything meaningful, but it's still nice to hang around others with similar interests. Better or worse, it seems that nothing in my life ever changes. Even this year is starting to feel much the same as the last. The only difference is that I'm 1 year older than before. I leave school and through the double metal doors that lead downstairs into the parking lot. While rushing through the courtyard, I hear some raised voices coming from the far end of the sidewalk away from me. Oi, oi, oi. Don't up away from there, going down. Can't quite tell from afar, but a student with a build of a linebacker appears to be harassing someone. Bunny-type monster girl. Click. Bunny people encyclopedia. Well, wholesome monster girl encyclopedia. 1%. Okay. Okay, 74 entries. I'll be impressed if all 74 are filled in the demo. Bunny people are a monster person race categorized by their long fluffy ears and fluffy cotton tails. They have a keen sense of hearing and smell and are known for their swift and graceful agility. They're usually quite sociable when among friends, often forming close-knit communities. Many enjoy social gatherings and celebrations, though some are turned off by the idea of the Easter Bunny. Looking closer, I recognize her as one of the few people in our school, Sophia. There aren't a whole lot of them. Huh? I recognize her as one of the few monster people in our school, Sophia. There aren't a whole lot of them in the public school system. For various reasons, it's taking some time for monster people to integrate into society. So, what do you mean they weren't part of society always? What does that mean? A second shorter but slimmer student smoothly slides his arm around Sophia's shoulder. I instantly recognize him as Dave, the shadiest guy in school. He's well known for his not-so-savory parties that he throws at his rich parents' house. It's not a surprise to me that one of the football players has fallen into one of his schemes. You got any plans this week? Bill here and me know a good place to hang out free from prying eyes. Sophia's eyes shift around uncomfortably. I hesitate for a moment, thinking that I should just let this pass, since there are plenty of other people around. Surely, out of all these people, someone will stick up for her. Despite her shifting hands, Sophia's legs are locked and her feet are frozen in place. She looks like a rabbit caught in a trap. I survey the courtyard and notice nobody else is even looking in their direction. Don't be excited, show Rush. I forgot what the voice I was using. Don't be in such a rush. You've heard the rumors. Concerts, parties, you name it. You got quite the party animal, aren't you? If you're into that kind of thing, we know a much better place to hang out and even have a few drinks. It'll be great. Please just leave me alone. I have a boyfriend. Boyfriend, huh? I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you went out for a few drinks with the old friends, would he? It's clearly lying anyways. Who'd actually go out with a cursed freak like her? Quiet, moron. I ignore him. Let's just go somewhere a little more quiet. I've been told that a man is defined by the actions he takes. And I don't think I consider myself much of a man if I don't take action now. Whoa, hard line. Okay, a little edgy, truthfully. Nothing innately wrong with it. It's just a little edgy for my tastes. Gabriel? Do you have a problem here? Screw off, man. This is none of your business. Yeah, mind your own business. Can't we soon making plans for the week? I wasn't talking to you two morons. I was talking to my friend Sophia. It isn't very common for humans and monster people to hang out in most public schools, though there are a few exceptions. Everyone typically keeps their own groups, so it surprises these two that I even know her name. When I glance at Sophia's face, she appears relieved that she's no longer alone in this situation. She takes initiative and pushes Dave's arm off her shoulder. Enough! Then you go without a little fun first. Dave starts after her again and grabs a hold of her waist instead. I instinctively reach towards her, but suddenly see stars. Though no longer caring about Dave or Sophia, had just sucker punched me directly into my temple. I raise my arms up in defense and get ready to throw punches myself. Sophia stomps on Dave's fancy shoe and makes a break for it. I'll go get a teacher. As she says this, I prepare to defend myself against the giant in front of me. Throw hands! Throw hands! Jab, hook, swing. 2 hits to the gut and 1 to the jaw, all of which he bruises off like it's nothing. In terror, he punches me in the eye, causing me to wince back in pain. Throw hands! Try to tackle him. It does me no good, however, since he's built like a truck and he pushes me backwards against the wall. He knees me in the gut and grabs my shirt with his hands, causing me to panic. I use the wall to leverage some extra force and kick him in the gut, causing him to bend forward in pain. Right as I do this, I hear Sophia returning with a teacher in tow. They are right over here. And as quickly as it started, it's over. The teacher rushes over, having witnessed only my final kick. She makes an instantaneous judgment then and there as to who is at fault and has us marched to the principal's office. It doesn't matter to them that I wasn't the one who started it. It doesn't matter to them I was helping someone out of a potentially dangerous situation. All that matters to them is the school's no-tolerance policy. I sit in the chair with the principal looming over me, lecturing me about fighting on school grounds, especially on the first week of school. He sentences me to a week of detention and threatens expulsion if anything like this ever happens again. I shut my brain off to anything else he has to say to me. I'm not going to listen to anything from someone with the power to make things right but chooses not to look at facts. All that matters to me is that I was justified in my actions. I don't care what any authority body says about it. I know in my heart that I'm right. I just wish I knew how to properly express that. Fortunately, my parents are a lot more patient than the school administrators, and I'm able to explain my side of things to them. It's because of situations like this that I know I have them to thank for my strong sense of justice. My parents, fed up with how my school handles bullying situations, decided to enroll me at a private Catholic school 3 hours away from home. 3 hours? For a high school? Oh my goodness. It's not out of nowhere that they come to this conclusion either. The local church was offering scholarships over the summer for people wanting to attend during the now current school year. There are still slots available. That's a thing? Churches do that? My church didn't. I didn't get nothing from them. Especially not for free. And I work for them sometimes. My parents asked me if I agreed with their assessment, whether this would be the best thing for me or not. They seemed to regret not having put me through private school earlier, if only for the education. I don't really have any deep attachments to my current school, so I'm not all that opposed to the idea of going to a new private one. Unfortunately, I still have to finish out the rest of the month at my current school, so I rather the rest of my detention and finish the remaining month, keeping my head down, nose clean. On a positive note, during that time I ended up befriending Sophia during my final weeks. I guess this... So this is it, I guess. I guess so. I'm glad I got to know you better before I left, at least. Who knew we'd both be in the same bands and basketball teams? Basketball teams? Sure. I never expected that humans and monster people would have so much in common. Sorry. It's fine, I was thinking the same thing. What, was that like a vaguely racist comment? Sure. We really aren't that much different on the inside, it seems. If only I had time to get to know her and our kind more. I still feel bad that you got in trouble even after I gave my side of the story to the principal. Don't worry about it. If you hadn't spoken up afterwards, my detention would have been all day during school with Dave and Bill rather than for an hour after school. Cheer up. At least you won't have to keep attending the same school as those jerks anymore. You can be okay despite them being here? Don't worry about me. Us bunny girls are stronger than we look. I'll just stick with my friends after school. Be safe, Sophia. I guess text me if you need anything. And that I can do much 3 hours away. Same goes to you, Gabe. Take care. You too. Somehow I doubt we'd keep in touch, but part of me hopes we will despite the physical distance. After all, it's good to have friends. You're kind of an emo, Gabe. By the end of that day, the new school's paperwork is taken care of and all my necessary things are packed up. I think I'm ready to leave this school behind. Still, this will be a massive change for me. I've never been away from home for more than a week, so it will take some getting used to. So he's a bunny girl who went to Gabe's old school before he moved to St. Thomas. They found out too late that I had a lot in common interest in music and basketball teams. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Genesis 6, 1 through 4. And after that, men began to multiply upon the earth, and daughters were born to them. The sons of God, seeing the daughters of men, that they were fair, took to themselves wives of all which they chose. And God said, My spirit shall not remain in man forever, because he is flesh, and his days shall be 120 years. Now the Nephilim were upon the earth in those days, for after the sons of God went daughters of men, and they brought forth children. These are the mighty men of old, men of the renowned Nephilim, are considered to be either half angel, half man, or children born of powerful and mighty men like rulers and kings. As far as what they actually are, nobody truly knows. Apocrypha, like the Book of Enoch, suggests that they are the children of angels and mankind. Biblical scholars usually understand them to be children of rulers and kings. Whatever they are, their origins are as mysterious as monster people themselves. These few lines of early scripture have been the course of much controversy for the last century or so. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, mankind shot the first satellite into space. It didn't take long for those satellites to be used for practical purposes such as weather tracking and observation, weather control. During one particular observation effort, scientists discovered some small towns and cities hidden in areas previously unexplored in regions of the 6 major continents populated by humanity. Various world governments powers took it upon themselves to send people out to chart these unknown peoples and to find out how they had hidden themselves from the world up and into the modern era. What they discovered baffled and scared most of humanity. Most of people whose descriptions were always thought to be mere fantasy, harpies, dragonkin, slime, succubi, and even vampires were found among various other monster races. I'm really interested in what the succubus one is. Succubus and incubus are people with a red-skinned... Succubus and incubus people are a red-skinned race of monster people who got their names from myths and legends surrounding creatures or demons with an appearance similar to theirs. Succubi are decidedly not related to demons, however, since demons are, as angels, are completely spirit in nature, whereas succubi have both physical and spiritual nature, like regular humans. Really? Okay. Each reflecting stories from various myths from surrounding ancient cultures. Average citizens were terrified. The government called for a quarantine of these newly discovered races. Many religions called them cursed and demon spawn. Some countries called for their extermination. Many monster people tried to fight back, but ultimately they were overwhelmed by this sheer number of regular humans. In an exception that surprised many, the Vatican is an independent country and city-state within Rome, Italy, and the central location where the Pope resides to run his office as the head of the Catholic Church. When people say Vatican, they are either referring to the place of or the Catholic Church as a whole, often interchangeably with the Holy See. The Holy See is a jurisdiction of the Pope in his role as the Bishop of Rome, who I can't read that word, jurisdiction over the worldwide Catholic Church and sovereignty over the Vatican City. The Vatican made a call to action for Catholics and the whole world to treat these newly discovered humanoids with the dignity and respect that any other human should be given. They reasoned that Christ's church is called to bring the message of salvation to all mankind, and that if these monster people are sapient, they still are to be considered persons first and foremost. Still, people being who they are, most rejected this message, and monster people were subjected to oppression by many of society who had discovered them. Inspired by the civil rights movement also happening in that time in America, many ordinary people joined the efforts of Catholic and Christian churches in their efforts to humanize these extraordinary people. Catholic definition, please. The Catholic Church claims to be the oldest branch of Christianity, standing that its origin lies with Jesus founding it on St. Peter. The Church focuses on salvation through the 7 sacraments which Jesus instructed throughout the Bible. They also believe in an unbroken succession of leaders from St. Peter as the first pope up to the current pope. And Christianity encompasses a wide range of individual denominations, with the common belief in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior of all mankind. Major Christian traditions include Roman Catholics, Eastern Orthodox, Protestants, and other non-Catholic Christians. While there are several differences in the interpretation between denominations, they are all still united by various beliefs surrounding the teachings of Jesus and the need for salvation through Jesus. The Catholic Church was instrumental in spearheading this movement too, having continued against the grain of culture, even going so far as illegally marrying people of different races against the laws of the time. Today, more and more people than ever have come to accept monster people as just another race of people, but there are still those who hold such prejudice as to call them cursed or demon spawn. The passages from Genesis may or may not describe the true origins of these people, and it may be true that they have come from a lineage cursed by God or the sinful actions of mankind. But children do not deserve to bear the burden of their parents' sins. At least that's how I see it. After an early mass in my hometown, we arrive a day before my first official school day to unpack my bags and find my bearings. In layman's terms, Mass is what Catholics call going to church. Mass is a central service of worship for Catholics where they celebrate the life and death of Jesus primarily through the Holy Sacrifice, or Eucharist, in which a priest takes an ordinary bread and wine, or the body and blood of Jesus. School's 3 hours away from home, so when we arrive, it's a few hours past lunchtime. Grab a quick bite to eat in town before my parents drop me off at the front gate. My parents and I embrace in a heartfelt goodbye, complete with embarrassing hugs and kisses at the front gate. I remain behind while they depart for the dorms to drop off my bag so I can start becoming acquainted with the campus. Maybe I'm just feeling optimistic, but it seems to me that the front gate has its arms stretched open wide in welcome. I hope that this gesture is a good sign that I'm on the right place. Pondering for a moment, I think about what life is going to be like once I walk through those arms. Academics aside, I wonder how different a private Catholic school will be compared to my old public one. I imagine that there will be some religious elements involved that weren't present before, so I'm a little worried about how all that will play out. I guess there's only one way to find out. I just have to move forward and hope for the best. I'm sure it'll be fine. A little bit of extra Jesus never hurt anyone. As I catch myself thinking that, I hope that I'm not being too irrelevant in my thinking. I sometimes wonder how the God of all creation sees how we think of him. Surely he must have some kind of sense of humor, otherwise why would he have humored us with his presence? Anyway, I guess it's time to discover what God has in store for me on the other side of this gate. As I take my first step forward, I say a quick prayer that everything will go well for me. Prayer. The word prayer comes from the Latin word "huracari," which means to ask. Prayer is the meaning of communicating with God or the saints in heaven. Really? I didn't know it was for the saints in heaven. Although many non-Catholic Christians do not use prayer for the latter purpose, yeah. The 5 ways to pray include blessing, petition, intercession, asking on behalf of another, thanksgiving, and praise. I didn't realize people categorized prayer. I began my trek through campus to familiarize myself with the school grounds. A few dozen students are roaming from one place to another, enjoying their last day off before the weekend finishes. I start to feel a bit isolated since I'm coming from a different school halfway through my high school career, a month into my junior year at that. I hope I don't have any trouble making new connections. Still, this place doesn't look half bad, comfy even. I think I'll get used to it. Never in my life have I thought about this out of school. I wander aimlessly for a few minutes, clueless as to where I am headed, when I notice a large... Excuse me, I'm a little degenerate. I read that as breast, not beast. Mr. Breast gave me money. A large beast-looking man walking in my direction. No, don't be Father John. Don't be Father John. 2 giant ox horns adorned in his head. That's Father John. I don't mean to stare, but it really is imposing at first glance. Besides this, I noticed that he's dressed in priestly garb. He must be the chaplain, Father John. I'm not reading Father John's entry. While he approaches me, I wonder to myself if I should ask him for directions, so that he'd be the one to ask for kindness around here. And almost if he can read my mind, he asks me before I have a chance. Hey there, friend. You look like a little sheep. Can I help you find your way?
Yes, Father. I'm transferring here as a junior. I'm a little boy, please. I don't know where to go. I just arrived today and I'm looking for my bearings.
Fortunately for you, it's my job to help the lost find their way. By the way, I'm Father John, chaplain here at St. Thomas Aquinas. St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Yes, sir, I kind of guessed from the descriptions I've heard about you. No offense. None taken. I know I'm kind of hard to miss. Anyways, it's nice to meet you. My name's Gabriel, or most people just call me Gabe. Gabriel is the main character of this visual novel, who typically goes by Gabe. He's referred to as a lukewarm Catholic, which means he isn't very proactive in his spiritual obligations. Hopefully that will change in the future. His namesake Gabriel was an archangel who announced to the Virgin Mary that she would bear a child, Jesus, would take the throne of David, and his kingdom will never end. Very necessary to include that. A messenger of God in need of guidance. How ironic. I'm gonna make a religious joke about your name. It never gets old. I have strong feelings about this line. I think you're in luck, because a reliable servant of the Lord has appeared to us. Father John gestures behind me to a moss boy, who at first glance seems tired and unkempt. This is Damien. He's in your grade and a student council member to boot. Damien, would you mind terribly showing Gabe around campus? He's new here and needs someone to show him around. I don't mind. He raises his hand in a short, motionless wave. I'm Damien, Daywalker, if you couldn't tell. Daywalker is a race of half vampires running the church. Unlike vampires, Daywalkers show that they are just like any other human or monster person with complete freedom of will to act in a capacity of good or evil, although they are often stereotyped as being loners or outcasts. Some of them are quite social. They still have an aversion to the sun, however. I do likewise awkwardly copy a shortwave while responding. I'm gay, human. Want to make a joke about me also walking around during the day, but I still don't know how people might react to the unsolicited jokes about their monster race. Hey, Gabe, you little racist, you. We'll make a racer out of you yet. It's nice to meet you, Gabe, but if you don't mind, not at all. Sorry for keeping you. I'm sure you're so busy on Sundays. Indeed I am. The work of a priest is never done. Best of luck finding your bearings, Gabe. Make sure to come by the chapel sometimes in the evening if you ever need any spiritual guidance or need a confession heard. Confession is the sacrament of the Catholic Church, as well as some other Christian denominations, in which a person confesses his sins to a priest who acts in the person of Christ to absolve or forgive sins. Catholics believe this authority comes from Jesus in Matthew 16:19 and John 20:21 through 23, where Jesus commissioned his apostles to forgive one another's sins. After confession, the person confessing also does some kind of penance or act of repentance to show sorrow over having sinned. Of course, I'm always available in case of emergencies. Anyways, welcome to St. Thomas. I'm now left in the Daywalker's care. Although Damien sure doesn't look like he has much energy to do anything but sleep, much less lead me anywhere. So you're a junior too, huh? What made you come to St. Thomas High? It's a long story. Short version, like I had a fight defending someone else, and my parents and I had a different perspective on the topic of justice than the school did. Sounds complicated. So what have you seen around school so far? Just the front gate in here. Let's head towards the most popular lunch hangout, then we can head inside. You can see where our classes are held. I have some business around there and elsewhere, so I'll get it done while showing you around. Sorry for the inconvenience. Just trying to make sure all students are taken care of as a school council member. Looks like I ran into a bigwig around here. He doesn't look the type. He must do a lot of good for the school to have the chaplain rely on him like this. Sure. From my experience, they just call anybody willing. We arrive at an open field with oak trees and picnic tables arranged near one another. The area is filled with students, the most prominent of which are a group of cheerleaders chanting synchronized cheers. I try to keep a steady pace with Damien, but I struggle to keep up as he makes a surprisingly quick beeline to the cheerleaders. By the time I catch up, their routine is finished and Damien starts talking to what looks like the head cheerleader. Unlike at my old school, I noticed a lot of diversity among the group. Half of them are ordinary humans, but the other half are monster girls. Blue-feathered bird-type monster girl sneaks away from the group while idling by myself waiting for Damien. She must be a harpy. I haven't heard much about them except what I was told in ancient legends. Most of that they used to pick up travelers at random, kidnapping them with their sharp, imposing talons. This harpy's short, brightly colored hair and her light blue feathers lower the intimidation factor by at least half. Hello. We're playing a little game called Wholesome Monster Girl Academy. Excuse me, Academia. I'm never used to saying academia. I don't like the word academia. I'm not even really sure what it means, or if there's any actual difference between academy and academia, but this is just a demo right now. Well, surprisingly, you don't put in a name. You are author's Bible verses. You're Gabe. Oh, lukewarm. That's very... I don't like that description. That, I don't know. Feels weird to call him... Yeah, he's just a lukewarm Catholic. He's not like me. Oh, and if she weren't already coming close, I'd say she looks very approachable. Those old tales can't be true, can they? Lee Gabe knew? Exactly. I'm gonna give the Harpy my own Gabe cube and convince her to play Skyrim. So tales can't be true, can they? I'm gonna get kidnapped. Oh no. Hey there, I haven't seen you around here before. I'm Sarah. Boy, I'm Gabe, as in Gabriel. I'm very awkward with introducing myself, if you haven't noticed. I reached my hand out to greet her before realizing that it might be awkward to grasp at Harvey's talons. Her hand reaches mine before I can stop myself, and despite how it looks, the inside of her palm is surprisingly soft and her grip gentle. Nice to meet you. So, am I right? Are you new here? Yeah, I'm a junior. I came from a little town 3 hours away. A junior, huh? Me too. What brings you all the way out here? I figure I'll have to repeat this a few times, so I quickly invent a way to summarize it for anyone that wants to know. I got in a fight defending someone at school when they had a no tolerance policy in place. Oh, scary. A ruffian or a knight in shining armor. You have to spill the details later. Yeah, well, so this is the popular hangout during lunch hours, huh? Yeah, it's where I usually catch up with all my latest gossip. Or, I mean, talk with all my friends. Oh, are you gonna say no gossip? Is that a sin? I'm being very, aggressive. You haven't done anything wrong, game. And I'm watching you. Of course, there's an inside cafeteria as well, which is nice for when it's raining. The food's okay too, I guess. If you want to find someone during lunch or after school, this is most likely the place you'll find them. Just then Damien cuts in. Hey Gabe, I'm done with this area. Let's go to the next place. Nice to meet you, Sarah. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Nice to meet you too. Sarah skips back to her squad members bouncing on her feet with every step. Next up, our classroom. There are just a few things I need to get from there before we continue on. Either way. We enter the building together and walk down a long hallway. Poster boards and knockers line the walls, interrupted by doors and even intervals that lead to various classrooms. Damien stops in front of one of the rooms and reaches for the doorknob. One, two, three. Chromebook! Chromebook spotted! Oh, I hate this monster. This is our homeroom. We have about 20 students in this year, including you, and about half of our monster people. That's a lot more monster people than we had at public school, but as students overall. Makes sense. 20's kind of a lot. I didn't even have... that's not true. I sometimes had 20 in my class. That's a pretty typical difference between public and private schools. Besides the fact that not a lot of us feel like we fit at the public schools, private schools often have a better student-teacher ratio. I'm still feeling pretty nervous about the new school, so I decided to probe him about it some more. What else do you think might be different about this school that I might have to get used to? Pauses for a moment and thinks to himself. Can't know for sure, but it feels like he's really taking my question seriously here. It's almost like he can detect how nervous I am. It's probably not all that different, to be honest, except that a human and monster people interactions feel quite natural. Most people are friendly enough with each other, but as far as negative incidents go, most people are friendly enough oh, I didn't skip one. Honestly, it still happens on occasion, but it feels pretty rare to me. Personally, no one ever bothers me about it, but I'm pretty easygoing as it is. There'll always be some isolated incidents, of course. Private schools can sometimes lead to elitism among both your students if the school doesn't stomp it out. What do you mean, stomp it out? What is the school supposed to do about elitism? Rich kids going to rich kids. Not letting in kids in groups. What? Sure. Makes me wonder if Sophia and really all monster people would fare better out of school like this. I guess I'll find out this year, one way or another. You don't seem too bothered to be around monster people for someone who came from a public school. What do you think gave you a different perspective? Honestly, I hadn't put much direct thought into it before. I always felt natural to accept others for who they are and not just by their appearance alone. Usually. I don't know for sure, but I was raised Catholic, so maybe that. It's always a fair mix of people in the pews at Mass, at least. Even if there are more humans than monster people. Fair enough. So are you a cradle Catholic then? What? Oh? Born and raised. Oh. Yeah, I guess I am then. I mean, I'm not super religious or anything. I've never really felt like I've had a really deep connection with God like others seem to. It's not like I don't believe, it just feels like I'm missing something. I don't have to tell him that, though. We've only just met. Really? So... Nope, okay. I'm still mad at the thing for calling him... Where are you, Gabe? Calling him lukewarm if he just feels like he's missing out. That that just means he doesn't get it but follows along because that's what he's used to, and that's... I don't like that. I don't like that game. It seems kind of mean. You've only just met after all. So I guess that means you've been through all the sacraments, right? A sacrament is what Christians believe to be a visible form of grace from God, instituted by Jesus. In Catholic theology, there are 7 sacraments: baptism, confession, Eucharist or communion, confirmation, marriage, holy orders, and anointing of the stick. Anointing of the stick. Oh, sick, not stick. I thought you were, a South Park Stick of Truth moment. My bad. I might be dyslexic. Yeah, baptism, confession, communion, and confirmation. Most recent being confirmation, of course. Confirmation is a Christian sacrament of initiation where the confirmed, the one receiving the sacrament, receives the gift of the Holy Spirit by many Christians. It is seen as a rite of spiritual adulthood, though not all denominations confer the sacrament exclusively to teens or adults. The sacrament's origins is often linked to the Bible Acts 2:1-4, where disciples received the Holy Spirit during Pentecost. Of course, all that stuff now is holy orders or marriage and anointing of the stick, but hopefully that's a long way off. Yeah, right. Seems he takes religion pretty seriously. I barely remember anything from the faith formation classes we've had every Wednesday for the few years leading up to confirmation. You don't have... you go to church, that's right. I was gonna say you don't have any Bible in school, in a public school. I feel like if they had taught us things like why we should even bother going to church on Sundays, I would have observed it better. After all, there's no reason to physically go to church. Can we just be spiritually close to God through prayer? It's all around us, after all. That's a very touchy thing to just kind of drop and not have anybody respond to, but I guess I'm getting it out of the way. Personally, I don't want to say anything that the demons are gonna pick up on, so I'm going to point at it. I'm going to point at it with my mouse. Okay, I'm going to go. This one, technically this one, but I don't align with any of them because I don't exactly like any of the churches that are nearby myself, due for whatever reason, and also I just don't like going to church because, boy, I have autism bad, and autism does not mix well with church. I doubt I could sit down for that long anymore. Okay, what was the line I wanted to go over again? There's no reason to physically go to church. Can we be spiritually close to God through prayer? I'm sure that there's a verse for this somewhere. If you're asking why you should even bother going to church on Sundays, then how do I say it? It's not that church is a bad thing. If anything, it's probably good, but a dog, Bork. You don't necessarily. I'm very conflicted about many of my own opinions on it, but you don't really have to. It's to get closer. You're told to go out and commune with others of belief, but most people interpret that as church. But you still don't have to. There's nothing directly in the Bible that says you will go to church or die. So it's not necessarily something to feel bad about. Okay. Anyways, I guess we should get going. Saban moves to reach his hand towards the doorknob, but briefly stops and looks back. Hey, if you ever have any questions about monster people, don't be afraid to ask. Most of us aren't bothered, but sometimes it's amusing what questions people come up with. And with the little time I spent with Sophia, I didn't have much of a chance to talk. Chance like this, so I'll take advantage of his offer sooner or later. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Turns back around and it disappears through the doorway, and I follow. Continue following Damien closely behind. Points out a few other relevant classrooms here and there as we walk along. On the way to the library, we run into two girls who are arguing over something. Come on, Ava, let's see what book you checked. Let me see what book you checked out. I bet it's another steamy romance novel. A relatively short slime girl is teasing a blushing succubus who appears flustered. I can tell by first glance by the smug grin on the slime girl that she's a troublemaker. Most of her body seems to be composed of a semi-translucent slimy material, all of which seems to hold up surprisingly well. Looking more closely, I notice her extremely sleep-deprived eyes and two cute little antennae poking out the front of her hair. Reminds me of the rumors I've heard about slime people supposedly being aliens. I can totally see why people would think so, seeing one up close like this, but I've never really bothered to dig into the details. To her side is Succubus, who despite her bright red skin appears to be blushing heavily at the slime girl's teasing. She has 2 little horns protruding from her dark black hair, and a slender tail coming out from behind her that ends in a pointed spade. Her solid black eyes are illuminated by bright yellow pupils. And while she's also shorter than me, she still has a few inches on the slime girl. Clover, that's her name. Dubious. It's none of your business what I got, okay? I promise I won't tell anyone except maybe Damien over there. Clover, picking on Ava again. Don't be too hard on her, you know, she's sensitive. I'm not. Clover snickers devilishly. This is Gabe. He'll be in our class starting tomorrow. Nice to meet you. Clover eyes me up and down with a smug grin on her face. Ava looks at me with some hesitation, but quickly looks away when she notices my eyes looking back. Likewise. Ava looks back at me with slight suspicion and replies, "Nice to meet you too." Anyways, we better get going so Ava here can start on her new romance novel. Ava smacks Clover's head with her book, which gives a distinctive splat and rushes off blushing. Hold on, Ava, wait up. The two normally get along, but Clover likes getting reactions out of poor Ava. It's okay, I understand. As long as they're just friends teasing in the spirit of good fun, yeah? If they weren't both different monster types, I'd assume they were sisters. Yeah, it does seem that way sometimes. This is where the library is. When you have more time, you should go inside and check it out. There's a wide range of literature to choose from in a pretty decent computer lab. Let's check out the gym next. I came out the back end of school. The doors open up with a large field next to what looks like a gymnasium. Outside, multiple students are hanging out, throwing balls, and performing various other physical activities. I guess Sundays are still pretty busy for some of the sports clubs. Not always, though some of us like to get ahead of the competition, especially her. As we weave our way through various sports groups, my eyes focus on one almost entirely in sync. In the front group, a tall dragonkin leads their movements with impressive gusto. Huh. Yeah. Huh. It's quickly apparent why she's the leader. Besides her extremely tan and fit appearance, she towers over most of the rest of the group. I'm not sure if that's proper grammar. Most of the rest of the... but whatever. 2 piercing horns protrude from the side of her head, giving her a rather imposing appearance. Despite this, her sharp gaze implies her sharp wits. Her hair is drenched in sweat, which pours over the shiny red scales on the side of her face. Let's take a break. Just as she calls for a break, Damien walks over to greet her. What's up, Ren? Working the team hard on the weekend, I see. Oh, on a weekend? Oh. Can't let a day off. Excuse to get lazy. Let no day go to waste. Ren glances over in my direction, aware of my approach. This is Gabe. He's new here. He transferred here because he got in a fight at his old one in defense of someone else, so he says. Ren turns to fully face him, looks up and down as if to size me up for a brawl. Well then, you should join the martial arts club if you think you can handle yourself in a fight. Thought it was odd Damien would bring up the fighting part of my intro, but it makes sense now. A not so subtle way to advertise the martial arts club, I see. I'll think on it. Fight was spur of the moment thing. I don't really care for violence. No excuses! The martial arts aren't about starting fights, just finishing them when necessary. Ironically, right after saying this, she playfully punches me hard in the left shoulder, giving a distant smack. She smirks at me as she does this. Just thinking about it, I'm usually practicing here or at the gym after school. If you were to help me dodge your punches, I might have to. He says while massaging my likely bruised shoulder. Shoulder! You're funny. I'll see you in gym class then. Because that's how people talk. You're so funny! She turns to face her fellow martial artists and starts filing them back into training. She's one of the school's best athletes, not just in martial arts, but also basketball, volleyball, track, lifting. I don't think there's a sport she isn't good at. Speaking of, if you don't join the martial arts team, consider joining the basketball team. Season doesn't start until the beginning of November. Plus, there's the bonus that the Harpy Guard you were talking to earlier, Sarah will be cheering you on during the matches. Imagine myself being cheered by Sarah. I almost blush, but quickly compose myself. Oh, whoa. I have to give a think on that too. A cute Harpy Guard cheering me on? I never joined any team sports before, but I can't say that I'm bad at them casually either. Look out in our gym class regardless. There's also a good chance that Ren will challenge you, and Sarah will be watching. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. The prospect of being staked out during gym by 2 monster goals on my mind. We continue our journey. Why are you thinking about that? You're weird. Arrived outside of a very tall and imposing church. You have a whole church at your school? This is a very rich school. Look at that stained glass. It's very pretty. And probably expensive. It soars high above any other building around, and it doesn't seem to be afraid of letting its presence be known. Still, it's only the size and sharp spires that makes it imposing. House of God is meant to be a place of awe, worthy of representing the spiritual head. Almost no Catholic church building worth its merit can be mistaken for what it represents. Excuse me. Finally, we have the chapel. Mass is held every Wednesday before school, replacing first period, and every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. 10:30, sure. Every Wednesday before school, placing first period. Sure. I'll commit to memory so I don't miss it. Speaking of time, I've almost late for an evening appointment. I'll catch up with you later. Thanks again for the tour. I'll have to make it up to you sometime. Don't sweat it later. Whoosh! Wanders off in another direction, throwing another one of his signature waves over his back, leaving me in front of the chapel's doors. The noise of crowds of students has died down compared to earlier. I suppose it is dinner time after all. Since I'm already here, I approach the chapel doors, intending to just take a peek inside. The door shut behind me with a soft thud. I allow my senses to take in my surroundings. The church appears to be mostly empty and quiet. A few steps in, I hear faint humming coming from one of the back pews. I reverently walk down the central aisle about a third of the way until I locate the source of the sound. A girl with long black ponytail and big red ribbon is leaning sideways in the middle of a pew, which reminds me of the members of a punk band I once saw on TV. The red and black striped stockings and the little skull on her chest really complete the look. She quickly types on her cell phone while gently humming an unfamiliar tune. She doesn't seem to notice me, so I sit down in the same pew on the far side away from her to take in the reverent atmosphere. Inside the church is drawn in a manner of golden colors, stained glass, and statues of saints. Up towards the front is an altar, immaculate except for a long cloth covering its top. Behind the altar, on the wall, rests a golden box common to all Catholic churches. I believe it's called the tabernacle. Huh? You have the tabernacle? An ornamented box in a Catholic church that hosts the Eucharist between masses to both protect the Eucharist from profanation and allow people to adore Jesus physically present within a church. Its name means dwelling place in Hebrew, which is appropriate as its dwelling place of Jesus in the church. Oh. Okay. So it's not just, frankly, I was thinking of that big box that kills you in the Old Testament. That's where they put the bread after communion for storage, as far as I recall. Just then I hear the doors hear the front doors of the church swing wide open. Father John steps through, heading down the aisle towards the altar. This alerts the girl sitting in the other side of the pew of my presence. She stops tapping on her phone, takes a quick glance at me, then gets up to leave. I make a motion to stand up and get out of her way, but end up stumbling into her. Before I can move again, I notice that she has two fangs protruding from her mouth. She must be a daywalker like Damien. I wonder if they know each other, considering how rare they are. Excuse me. Sorry, let me get out of your way. I didn't mean to interrupt. It's fine, don't worry about it. I'm just finished here anyways. She hurries past me and leaves out the front doors, passing Father John along the way. Father John continues his pace, passing her with a gentle smile until he stops in front of me. Gabe, you came. It shows a lot about your character to come to confession on the first day before your new school. Sorry to disappoint, my motives aren't so pure as that. The front of the church just happened to be the last stop in Damien's tour before he had run off. By the way, who's that vampire-looking girl that just walked out of church? You know everyone, right? That's Aria. She comes in here every once in a while during off hours. Feels she hasn't yet accepted promptings of the Holy Spirit to accept the Lord into her life, but at least she seems content in the chapel's serene atmosphere. Far be it me to prevent her from spending time in the presence of the Blessed Sacrament. Okay, one thing I can comment on. You click on a thing, you get closed entry, right? Why closed entry, but not... Okay, what case do I have to want to close this entry and not just return to the game? I don't get that. Gay furry dating sim? No, Cyclocust. This is the most straight dating furry sim. Wholesome Monster Girl Academy. Can it be? Honestly, I'm not convinced Father John isn't going to touch me, and that's not just because he's a priest, but he looks like somebody who'd touch me. What she does in here is of little concern to me unless she wishes to make it known. Oh, you missed it. You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Wholesome Monster Girl Academia. I keep getting that wrong. Wholesome Monster Girl Academia. Always go with the father, sure. A non-religious vampire in a church, huh? Heard many strange things, but you can't get more out of place than that. I wonder if she just has a complicated background. I won't judge her for it. Live and let live, I suppose. By the way, you may not know much about them, but daywalkers don't usually like being referred to as vampires. They are of different natures, after all. I have a feeling I'm going to be learning a lot of new things about monster people. Fortunately, Damien did extend an invitation to me for open questions, so I'll catch up with him on that kind of stuff later. It's good to know about people you'll be around every day, even more so when a Christian whose divine purpose is to witness to all people. Anyways, if you have anything on your mind that's bothering you, I can offer you absolution or advice. Whether you're comfortable with whatever you're comfortable with, though the former will be more spiritually effective. That's sure. It's always good to start fresh in a new school after all. This is so extremely Catholic. I'm out of place here. I didn't know that. I know that Catholics are very special people. Smile. Excuse me, what'd you say? I don't really have any reason to refuse. It'd be nice to have a clean slate going to this new school, and a bit of God's grace never hurt either. That's the second time you said this. Special? Yeah. they're very unique in their ways and very adamant in their ways, and very they're very cool. I don't have anything against them. Smile. That's not true. I don't have anything against them. It's just I don't have a great record with them. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's been quite a while since I've been, after all. I've mostly just gone through the motions of going to church. Maybe this could be the start of getting back on track to being more faithful. Might also be useful to clear my mind about any doubts surrounding the fight at my previous school. Hey, how about this? You tell him that you feel like you don't really fit, instead of just saying in your head that, oh, I've kind of just been following along because this is what I was born into. There's also some cool ones. I'm sure there are. Of course, not every Catholic is scum. They're not all scum. But I'm joking. I don't know. I've unironically had to use this codex for quite a lot. 48% complete, so if I have three, well, I can't count. Saints? 1. I think I'll take you up on that offer, but it's been a while, so forgive me if I'm a little rusty. In that case, I'll guide you along the way. If you prefer to brush up and meditate in private, we have pamphlets on the side over there. It's a shelf on the wall with many different informational pamphlets ranging from confessions to dealing with loss. Hi, JP. This is Wholesome Monster Girl Academia demo. This is Father John. I don't like him. He looks like he's going to touch me. Splendid. Now head back to the confessional booth then. You come in whenever you are ready. Father John smiles back warmly. I can feel that he's a genuine person who really cares about his students. He turns on his heels and treads reverently towards the confessional. That's the second time you've used reverently to describe his walking. In the same scene, mind you. Grabbing one of the pamphlets, I unfold the tract and skim through the beginning. According to this, it's good to start with an examination of consciousness. I can't English. Also, tracts. Oh boy, tracts. Undertale Repent of Jesus edition flashbacks. I love farming. Since that sins can be used to categorize it, is using the 7 deadly sins, which you can use as a guide to determine what you have done wrong. Greed, lust, wrath, gluttony, envy, sloth, and the father of all sins, pride. Greed doesn't seem to be a sin that I struggle with. Granted, I've been blessed with a life where I haven't wanted for much. Gluttony, envy, and pride haven't reared their ugly heads in my life much either. But it could be pride to think like that in the first place. I have to meditate on that further another time. Gamer, I think you're fine. I can't say I've never dealt with lust before, but I usually keep to myself. Too busy to fall into that temptation very often. Thus we keep our computers in a common family area, so I usually try to steer clear of any sites that might provoke unwanted parental attention. Sure, buddy. As far as sloth goes, I can definitely afford to be more diligent in my prayer life, increase my acts of service to others. And if I'm wrong about my idea of justice concerning the fight, then wrath could be of concern as well. I mean, I don't think I was wrong to do what I did. I was helping someone else get out of a bad situation after all. I can't hurt to get it can't hurt to get some clarification on things, so I'll ask anyway. I'm definitely still holding some resentment for the unjust punishments that my previous school doled out to me. However, I'll take these thoughts and meditate over them in the pews for a few minutes, trying to think of anything else I may have forgotten. Finishing my meditation, I decide that I'm prepared for my first confession in quite a while. Alright, I think I'm ready to go. I stand up out of my seat and head towards the confessional booth. With my offhand holding onto the pamphlet, I take hold of the door and go inside where Father John is waiting. I close the door behind me. The door makes an audible click. I wonder if I should sit in front of Father John or not, since that appears to be the optional according to what I just read. Sit face to face or sit behind the screen? Sit behind the screen because I don't want to look at him. I choose to sit behind the screen. After all, it doesn't matter if he can see me or not to hear my confession and give me penance. When reading off the pamphlet, a formulaic introduction prayer that seems to simplify the beginning of the sacrament. I confess to the Almighty God and to you, Father, that I have sinned. It's been quite a while since my last confession. First off, I could be more diligent against my sloth by strengthening my prayer life and increasing my acts of service to my fellow man. Surely, good son, I'm glad you decided to come back again. Required by the church to go at least once a year. Really? Okay. But we can all use a little extra grace more often, can't we? Plus we all fall short of the glory of God, so he is there to help us. As your lack of good works, there is also plenty of opportunities here on campus for acts of service for you, if that is what you seek. Do you have anything else you want? No. As for your lack of good works, there are plenty of opportunities here on campus for acts of service. Bro, don't you guilt trip him into doing community service at your church? I don't like that. Now the Shakisha. That's weird in my opinion. Yeah, come do community service and then we're gonna bash. Can you tell that I have a few personal grudges with somebody? Do you have anything else you would like to confess? Yes, Father. So I'm not exactly sure if this is a sin or not due to the circumstances, but the reason I left my old school is that I had gotten myself into a fight while defending someone else who was in an uncomfortable situation. Two sleazeballs were aggressively hitting on a monster girl, and she clearly told them she wasn't interested. One thing led to another, and I ended up kicking one of them in the gut to get away after he got in a few good punches on me. Well, are you confessing or are you bragging? Father John chuckles to himself a bit. I'm only joking, of course. There are times when our anger goes too far and becomes wrath, but anger itself is a useful tool. When you are using that tool to defend yourself or others, it becomes what's known as a righteous anger, something that even Jesus did when he flipped the tables in the temples. But of the whole dialogue of turn the other cheek Jesus spoke of, I figured I would take the opportunity to get that question answered since it seemed like a contradiction. In biblical times, there were many customs that need to be taken into context today, including certain idioms that were popular in the day. In this instance, Jesus was teaching people that if someone insulted you or slapped you on the cheek, that you should invite them to do it again to the other. He was pointing out the frivolity of such actions. There's nothing to be gained by returning an insult to someone who only wishes ill of you. However, that doesn't apply to the case when you or someone else is in immediate danger. In such a case, we defer to the other passages concerning the defense of the innocent and righteous anger. Thank you for clearing that up for me, Father. Really? We defer to the other passages concerning the defense of the innocent or righteous anger. Doesn't apply to the case when you're someone else in immediate danger. That's not really cited in anything, or sure. I feel like I already knew that, but I'm glad to know that my sense of justice isn't too far from what the church teaches. I have a lot of thinking to do about all this. I'm thankful that he's both knowledgeable and understanding. It's really reassuring that there are people who can give a clear and conscious answer like this. Wouldn't Kwa not like him? Oh, yeah, she's, what was Kwa again? I don't remember her. It wasn't Orthodox, was it? I would also like to commence my resentment against the administrators of the school. I know I was right, but it's probably not healthy to hold on to anger like that. Understandable anger in the face of unjust punishment, but yes, it would be healthy to let it go. So I pray that they will gain the wisdom that comes from God to judge righteously and with justice. Those are all the sins I can recall at this time. In that case, before I give you your penance, I would suggest joining one of the school clubs, in of which you should give an opportunity to serve others, God, and yourself. What I've done? Okay, fine. Fine! JP, if you're gonna ask for it so nicely, I will. Personally, I don't see myself as much of a bad person, and that's not pride or anything. I, just generally don't... I don't steal, I don't exactly sin very much. One thing I can admit to is that I'm a, rather lustful person. And that's as far as I'll go into that on stream. But besides that, I don't necessarily pray very much. I much prefer to just talk to God in my head, I guess. I don't like how I feel when I say formal prayers and whatnot. Is there anything else I should admit? No. No, I think I'm good. Yeah. I'm not necessarily greedy. I'm not very... I used to be a little, hateful. I used to carry spite in my heart a lot about things that were wrong to me, before I learned to move on. There's one thing I didn't mention. I'm scared, JP. What is it? You're a Philly League player. Yeah. I don't say my... That is one thing I guess you could possibly say, is that I do swear a fair bit. Personally, though, I don't see when I swear as a sin. I'll say shit, I'll say fuck. From what I've read, it's to curse another, that's bad. To call someone else something awful is bad. And saying shit, fuck, profanity word is okay because it's a word and it doesn't hurt anyone, and it's not directed at anyone. My grandma gets on to me for that. So funny story, right? My friends were playing Clash Royale, and I do not have my Clash Royale account anymore. So I asked to borrow Grandma's phone so I could play it. You want to know what she tells me? She tells me, I'm in a Christian clan. Do not go on and cuss there. Or something along that line. I was so offended, bro. I don't even swear in public. I just swear in my room, online, in my head. I do not swear in public. I'm a respectable man. A proper gentleman. In that case, before I give you your penance, I was just joining the other school clubs, each of which should give you an opportunity to serve others, God, and yourself. I was going to say maybe I don't exactly serve others very much anymore, but that's not true. I'm a very open person, and talk to people whenever they need confidence. I still, like, do gentlemanly actions, I don't need to second guess myself on a lot of things. Okay. For your actual penance, I want you to pray and meditate on the Lord's Prayer, focusing on the words Our Father. Especially in the fact that He loves us so much as to humble Himself as far to allow us to call Him in merely Abba, Father, as we are His children. And finally, I want you to say a prayer for the people who were tormenting you and your friend, as well as the administrators at your former school. It may be hard to do, but pray for a conversion of heart, that they may become better people through Jesus our Lord. That might be fairly difficult for me with how I feel about them, but I'll give it some thought. Really? That's just being petty, bro. It's ogre. Let it go. Now, please pray an act of contrition. I'm not saying this. Is a prayer said petitioning God to forgive you of sins. This is the one Gabe ripped from his pamphlet. You're giving me spoilers. That's one thing. The Codex gives you spoilers sometimes. Looking back down at the tract, I say the prayer at the end, which appears to hit all the right meanings as it was tempered over time throughout the ages. As I try to focus on what the words truly mean, I begin to remember some of it from my faith formation classes. Perhaps I remembered more than I thought. Okay, hold on. Eastern Orthodoxy. That's right, she's a Protestant, I think. Quasi-Protestant, I think. Communion, grace, the Lord's Prayer. Based on Jesus, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Oh, act of contrition. My God, I am sorry for my sins with all my heart. In choosing to do wrong and failing to do good, I have sinned against you, whom I should love above all things. I firmly intend to help you to do penance, to sin no more, and to avoid whatever leads me to sin. Amen. Hi, Tatters. We're playing Wholesome Monster Girl Academia demo. I'm going to assume by the big cross on the wall and the encyclopedia that has a prayer in it that you can tell that this is a Catholic game. That these people are very Catholic. God, the Father of mercies, through the death and resurrection of his Son, has reconciled the world to himself, sent the Holy Spirit among us for the forgiveness of sins. Through the ministry of the Church, may God give you pardon and peace, and I absolve you from your sins in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. At those words, I absolve you of your sins. I feel a deep warmth and even a shiver inside of me. Not Among Us. Amen. I just realized the game's kind of small and not in the right place. There we go. Holy Spirit, I cannot say it, but I won't doubt it. Amen and thank you, Father. Really? We're just describing Holy Spirit as shiver and warmth. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. I won't fight. Anytime, son. Stand up, reflecting on the great mystery I just participated in. Maybe there's something more to these sacraments than I've been giving attention to. I gently retreat through the door of the confessional and close it behind me. Still in reverent state of mind, I start walking down the aisle, heading towards the front of the church to pray. As I pass the nearby pews, I notice a certain succubus that I met earlier praying by herself. Are they supposed to be related to demons somehow? No, I read the Codex! And just for the sake of it, succubus are decidedly not related to demons. However, since demons as angels are completely spiritual in nature, whereas succubi have both a physical and spiritual nature like regular humans. Haha, someone hasn't been reading their codex entries. And she dismissed the thought. Even I know demons don't have physical bodies. The reality is, I still may have some biases left over from the media I consume and students at my old school. She looks at me a little surprised, but averting her eyes back down to the book she holds in her hands, trying very hard to evade my notice. I decide to let her be and start to pass her when I hear a small voice behind me. Is Father John ready for another confession? Turning back around, I see her looking at me from behind the book. It doesn't appear to be the one she hit Clover over the head with earlier. I believe so. I didn't see anyone else behind me when I went in. Besides, the daywalker girl left, so you're good to go. Alright, Amy. Anyway, thanks. She gives me a short nod and hurries towards the confessional booth, her tail trailing behind her into the little room. I can only presume what a succubus girl would confess, but I won't be uncharitable. Racism! Vague racism! Very cool. Allowing the thought to escape my mind, I find an empty space near the front to pray and perform my penance. Now, related to demons' heresy. I'm not sure. Where does succubus come from? Medieval folklore. Okay. Okay. So not necessarily, I don't think. I'm not exactly too well versed in what is and is not heresy. Lord, I know we don't talk much except during morning prayers, but thank you for letting me have the opportunity to confess my sins to you this evening. Next I pray Our Father, focusing on beginning like Father John said. The Lord's Prayer. The idea that an almighty being would humble himself to create us and call us his children is astonishing if I really think about it. Start meditating on the different parts of the prayer and their meanings. Forgive us our trespassing as we forgive those who trespass against us. When I pray this, as I wrote prayer in the morning, the meaning slips by me, but there does seem to be a lot more to it now that I'm slowing down. Is this the standard by which God will judge us? Will God hold it against me if I don't forgive others of their sins? What if I don't forgive those bullies and just simply never bully someone else? Is that sufficient forgiveness in God's eyes? No. I ponder this and more in silence while I think of something to say to God about those who wronged me as well. I know you saw everything that happened, God. Father John told me I was not entirely in the wrong for the self-defense part, but I am sorry for those resentments that I've been holding on to. Please bring those people to a better mindset. Gamer didn't want to call them Peeper, and a better understanding of what they did to both of us. And help me to always be aware of my anger so that I only use it as a tool of righteousness. Amen. I hope that is acceptable. I always feel awkward talking with God on a personal level. That's just like any other relationship that just gets better with time. I can't improve my relationship with God if I never talk to him after all. Done with my prayer and penance, I stand back up and prepare to leave the church. Before I leave, I dip a finger into the holy water font and make a sign of the cross with a quick blessing while walking out the door. Sitting outside, I notice the sun has already set over the tree line. I look around the empty courtyard in the front of the chapel. The daywalker I saw earlier is sitting on a bench, while typing into her phone. Just as she finishes writing and lowering her phone, I approach her to apologize for stalling her earlier. Sorry about earlier. I know the church is supposed to be a place of meditation. I didn't mean to interrupt your concentration. Don't worry about it. I was just taking down notes for a few ideas that were stuck in my head. Are you a writer then, perhaps? Something like that, I guess. I won't keep you from what you're doing. See you around campus? I turn to leave to find my way to the dorms, but then I remember that I don't know how to get there from here. Do you know where the guys' dorms are from here? I'm a new transfer student. My name's Gabe, by the way. I'm alright, but head back around the building over there. Go straight for a while until you pass a big tree. You'll notice it when you get there. Are you a junior? How'd you guess? You just seem a little younger than me, that's all. I'll see you around campus then. She picks up her stuff and heads roughly the opposite direction of where she directed me to go. Younger than her, huh? I guess Aria's a senior? I still wonder what she was writing in her phone. I guess I'll just have to get to know her better to pierce the veil of mystery that surrounds her. Soften the direction Aria pointed to earlier and make my way to the dorms. Finally, I make a turn at the big tree, and just as Aria described, I see the dorms in the distance. Walking through the common area, I see a handful of other students hanging out and catching up before classes begin again tomorrow morning. I overhear a conversation about the games they played instead of weekend homework, while another is talking about a girl he's crushing on, one grade below him. Continuing into the hallways, I look for my room number 143, right here. I open the door and take my first steps inside. My bags are in the middle of the room where my parents must have left them. There's a note on the luggage that says, "We love you, Gabriel, and hope you have a great semester at your new school. If you ever need us, don't hesitate to call. Love, Mom and Dad." I gather my things and put them where they belong. They probably won't remain orderly for long, but I may as well put them in their proper place while I'm thinking about it. I set my laptop up on the desk and my Bible on my bedside table for finishing touches. It's been very different compared to what I'm used to. Besides coming to an entirely new school, I've had more face-to-face conversations with monster people in a day than I think I have the past year. It's not like they're a rarity or anything, I've just never had much reason to interact with them before today. It's not like monster people are all that common. The school just has a lot more than anywhere else I've visited. I wonder if the whole town is like this. Regardless, if I'm going around a lot of monster people, I'd better start getting to know them a little better. Who knows, maybe I get a new best friend or two. Damien seems like a nice enough guy. I wonder if he's sincere around being open to any questions about monster people. Considering how important he seems around here, I'd better stick close to him if I want a chance to get to know people. He already introduced me to so many people. So I had a bright and peppy attitude. He seems like a kind of person that could remind you of no matter what's going on in your life. Is MC human? Yep, he's a normal human. Gabriel. Ren, on the other hand, came off as the type of friend who wouldn't just help you through a tough situation, but train you through it too. And Clover was an interesting sight. It's not every day you see a slime person. Must be only like 50,000 or so on the whole planet, maybe a few more in other countries. Huh? Sure. I have to shamefully admit Ava caught me off guard. I never put much thought into it, but I've only seen succubi depicted mostly in TV shows as either teasingly sassy or overtly sultry. Nothing in Ava's mannerisms suggests anything of the sort. In fact, she is one of the only monster people I met today inside the church, in line for confession, no less. Ari, on the other hand, is exactly how I've seen daywalkers portrayed. Not to stereotype or anything, but you are racist. She came across to me as a mysterious, ethereal, and a little bit edgy, though she wasn't in the church, so maybe there's something about her I'm not seeing. That goes to show how little I know about monster people. As my mind races over the events of today and the people I've met, I drift into restless sleep, still not used to my surroundings. The tone of my alarm clock eases me awake. I'm so glad that this isn't the end of it. Give me like a little bit of time with the characters. I want to actually judge. My eyes open to an unfamiliar ceiling. I must have been exhausted last night because I didn't even remember setting my alarm. I grabbed my phone from the bedside table and checked the time. 6:30 a.m. Press my body into an upright position and swing my legs over the side of the bed. Out of my eyes, I start my morning ritual. 10 squats, 10 push-ups, 15 set-ups. It might not seem like a lot, but doing it each morning helps me wake up and gives me energy. I grab a towel and my shower gear and head into the bathroom. This is such an empty bathroom. There's no storage. There's no storage here. One roll of toilet paper is all you have. You run out and it's game over. After checking the temperature for a few seconds to make sure it's ideal, I step into the warm water. Call me weak, but I always find warm morning showers gently waking me up a lot less stressful than a cold shower full of energy. Prepare my mind for the day by meditating in the shower and reciting my morning prayers. This time I pay a little more attention to the words I'm saying after last night. It's always just been simple Our Father and any other little thing that's on my mind. Sometimes my dad taught me when I was younger. When your mind is still waking up, focus your will on God and the rest of the day will go His way. At the very least, it's always helped me clear my mind and focus on my goals for the day. Today's primary goal is attending class, so I'm not left behind. I am a month behind on everyone else after all. School sent me a homework package before I arrived with the expectation that it would catch me up at least. As I'm meditating on the day, I wonder if other people's morning rituals have any resemblance to my own. After finishing up in the shower, I put on my uniform and scarf down a quick breakfast for my morning meal. It's not ideal nutrition, but it does the job holding me over until lunch. All the other guys wearily make their way through the hall and out the door onto campus. I follow steadily, but disconnected stream of students heading from all over into the main school building. As I enter the classroom, I am greeted by a familiar face. Morning, Gabe. Did you find your way here all right? Just a bright and cheery attitude this early leaves no doubt in me that she's a morning person. Morning, Sarah. You're here early. Class didn't start for another 10 minutes. You know, say the early bird gets the worm, though I can't really stand the touch worm. It's too slimy. Now, that makes me wonder if harpies actually do eat worms, so I'm too afraid to ask. Hey, speaking of worms, here comes the Rem. Father Sarah's gaze to the door and watches Ren enters with the backpack slung over his shoulder up with one hand. What's happening, Sarah? Morning, new guy. I get it, warm as in... I'm giving you one ding on the racist poll for that. Have you met Gabe yet? He was following Damon around like a lost puppy yesterday. He's pretty good at sports. You'll have to show us in the gym today. Depending on how good your skills are, I'm going to have to scout for you for the basketball team. Not if I get him in the martial arts club first. Sarah and Ren continue fighting over which club I'm going to be forced to join as they take their seats. With my gaze still focused towards the doorway, I notice Clover and Eve entering the room. Eva looks in my direction and shyly raises her hand in a short greeting before finding her seat. As she does this, she looks more directly at me and blushes a bit before focusing her attention back to Clover. I wonder if it's because I saw her before the confessional last night. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. I was there myself too, after all. I'm thinking to myself, Clover sleepwalks her way in, but still manages to find her seat despite this. Damien walks in soon after giving me a quick yell with his signature wave and finds his seat. He looks about as tired as Clover. I wonder if his student council duties extend into the weekend or even late at night. One by one, a bunch of other students walk by and fill the empty seats nearby. By the time class is about to start, I'm still left awkwardly standing around near the front of the class. Fortunately, I'm saved by the teacher who opens the door soon after. None! Remember when I said this game was very Catholic? A nun in her habit float. Really? That's what it's called? A habit? Floats gently into the classroom. My eyes focus on the two circular horns affixed to the side of her headdress. I also notice that there's a cloth belt wrapped around her waist, which is affixed a rosary. Is there not a hide button? There's not. Unless if I press H? Yeah, it is. Rosary. I have no idea what a rosary is. I know it from Silk Song. And, Blasphemous. Her left hand is adorned with a plain silver ring on her finger. Obviously, she's not married, but if I had to guess, it's likely a symbol of perpetual vow of chastity. The other students quickly wrap up their conversations and take their seats. I'm left standing awkwardly in the front of the class, waiting to be assigned a seat. I take quick note of the whiteboard where the teacher's name is written, Mr. Talia. Today we have a new transfer student from town 3 hours over. That's very weird to say. Gabe, why don't you introduce yourself? I should have expected to be put on the spot like this. I think some basic things that should suffice as an introduction. My name's Gabe. I made the Gabe Cube. Play my Gabes. Finish hoping that's good enough. I could have mentioned casual sports, gaming, or music, but I didn't think it'd be worth mentioning them. I just dabble in a lot of different hobbies, but don't excel at anything in particular. Real! Clash applause and welcome as Sister Talia points me out to a seat near the window. Fortunately, it's right next to Damien and in front of Sarah. She gives me a wide grin and excitedly shifts up and down in her chair as I approach. I take my seat as the teacher begins the day. Good. Nearly done reading a book from last week's assignment. There will be a quiz this Friday depending on the book you chose. Most of the other students groan at this news. Gabriel, since you're coming partway through the assignment, I would delay your quiz and allow you the weekend to catch up. Oh boy, 2 extra days. Compared to what, a week at least? We're going over books that our Protestant brethren have written, then comparing and contrasting the many values we share in common. You can pick up from one of the 3 titles by C.S. Lewis. The famous Christian author is known as works like the Chronicles of Narnia about Christianity, the Screw Tape Letters. He was a close friend of J.R. Tolkien, Catholic author of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Lewis was an Anglican Christian. Why does this need to be in the entry? Also, don't we hate Tolkien now or something? You can pick from the 3. Can't be a sheet of paper with the assignment on it. The books in question are Mere Christianity, Screw Tape Letters, and The Abolition of Man. I have to check out one of these at the library later today. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm a fairly quick reader. I say an hour and 30 minutes into this game. I stick the paper into a binder for safekeeping and return my attention to the front of the classroom. Each of these books provides us with a different perspective in which to view the world under the Christian lens, using religious reasoning, philosophical reasoning, and narrative. C.S. Lewis once famously stated, "I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has arisen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else." What he meant by this is not simply that Christianity can explain the things which we may not yet know in the sciences, but that within the one worldview, all sorts of why questions can be answered, not in the casual sense, but as far as the sense of why should anything matter. It has an answer for every moral question and quandary, and when viewed as a whole, holds no rational contradictions. And when there appears a contradiction, it's usually due to a faulty personal interpretation. For Catholics, this isn't a problem since we can refer to church teaching through the magisterium. This one doesn't get a codex entry? I have no idea what this is. Magisterium was established to keep and organize the findings of the church as it has the 2 millennia of its existence and beyond. All this religious theology right off the bat on the first day is a lot to take in. Believe it all, of course, but it's not rare to see it taught in a classroom. I wonder what in the world it would be like. What the world would be like if basic religion and philosophy were taught in public schools. Would at least encourage more thoughtful discourse? Who really knows? Think about Arya for a moment, remembering that Father John said she isn't religious. I wonder if she cares about being taught religious philosophy or just expects it, having been enrolled in a Catholic education. Sister Talia calls out various students about what they've learned so far. Our first victim is Clover, who, with more coyness and shame, admits that she hasn't started reading yet. Sister Talia just shakes her head and sighs. Sarah whispers behind me. Clover's a big-time gamer, so she's more likely to stay up late on the computer than read. That being said, she's super smart naturally, and so it wouldn't even surprise me if she doesn't have to study all that much to get good grades. It's probably why Sister Talia isn't too hard on her. Sister Talia's next target is Ava, who I thought would act more timidly in front of the class. She instead surprised me with a confident answer. Sarah speaks up again behind me, confirmed my suspicions about Ava's hobbies. I haven't noticed already, Ava's is obsessed with reading. Although she's a lot more book smart than what you might call street smart. I was never book smart and money smart. It makes me more intelligent. That scared me though. Sarah, do you have anything to add to the discussion? No, Sister Talia. Sorry, ma'am. Sarah zips her lips tight. I practically feel the redness of her cheeks radiating behind me. Class continues along with no more interruptions from Sarah. I suppose she learned her lesson. After class, the class pours into the hallway for lunch. I expect most of the students are heading to the cafeteria, so I follow them, since I don't really exactly remember where it is from yesterday's tour. The menu seems typical for any of school cafeterias: a build-your-own sandwich station with a simple salad bar and a main item of the day. Say it looks like burgers or chicken fingers with a few vegetable sides. Since I don't recognize any one side, I grab a plate, load it up, and head outside. sun shines brightly on everyone in the courtyard. Everyone is either sitting and eating at the picnic table or standing around talking to each other under the shaded trees. On one side of the courtyard, I spy Sarah and Ren at one of the picnic tables where there are several unoccupied seats. They appear to be having an animated conversation about something. I feel bad interrupting them, but I don't see anyone else I know around here. Sarah seems very sociable, so I don't think it'll be a problem. I might have to be wary around Ren, however, since she seems like she wants to measure up my athletic abilities. I should take this chance to get to know them a little better. I approach them while they're still actively chatting. It looks like Sarah chose chicken fingers, as most of her food is still on the plate. Meanwhile, Ren is responding with a mouthful of her burger. He was telling me that a gallon of milk a day is the fastest way to bulk up muscle, and when he finished drinking the whole jug, he spewed all over the sidewalk. And the sidewalk uproarious laughter as she washes down her burger with her own bottle of what looks like protein shake. Sarah chuckles at Ren's story, then notices me approaching. She rakes me over and motions me on the bench attached to the table. Ren was telling me about a guy at her gym who was trying to give her, well, people tips on how to bulk up. He didn't even have the decency to try my routine after he embarrassed himself like that. And takes another chug of her shake and then, with a wide motion, wipes away the milk stash that it leaves behind. So we hear you're somewhat of an athlete yourself. What's your game? An athlete, I am not. But I did play a little basketball in elementary school and did taekwondo in middle school. My dad coached the basketball team, but I couldn't say I've kept up my skill set. I only got as far as advanced blue belt in martial art classes. I only thought to mention those two because they were relevant. I also tried swimming once, but I wouldn't want to have and admit that I quit that after I lost my swim trunks during an initial dive when practicing before a competition. At least only the guy team saw that incident. Don't be so modest, I'm sure you're pretty good at something. Yeah, you stood your ground when I decided to deck your shoulder yesterday, didn't you? Hand instinctively moves to my shoulder where she punched me yesterday. Or around, I can still feel some bruise. She laughed, but I laughed it off anyways. It's only a little mark, it wasn't dislocated or anything. Ren chuckles at my remark, eyeing my shoulder as I rotated around in its socket. Since you know a little about us already, what kinds of things were you into at your old school? I'm being honest when I say I didn't have a lot of focused hobbies, but I could pick one of my minor hobbies that I know these two are into and go with that. What kind of hobby was I into at my old school? Whoa, second option. Socializing, martial arts, basketball, competitive video games. Yeah, I think I'm a gamer. I don't know, I kind of just played games at home online with friends, mostly competitive shooters and fighting games. Ren perks up at the mention of fighting games. We play Street Fighter 4? I played 3 and 4 and a few others like Mortal Kombat and Super Mash buttons. You're gonna say excuse me, did I read that right? Street Fighting. My bad. Good taste. We should take a trip down to the arcade sometime and duke it out there. If you incorporate the fighting game spirit into the real world, I bet I could make a warrior out of you, yeah. I'm not sure that would translate well, but who knows. It does take some time, some quick thinking after all. To think over it a bit more. Conversations continue along those lines till the bell rings. Ren chugs down the rest of her shake and Sarah neatly stacks items on her tray for disposal. It's great catching up with you. Ren and I go ahead and take care of the trash. We'll see you in gym class a bit later, alright? Thanks, and see you there. I get up and grab my things and start to heading to the next class. As I'm thinking about the conversation we had during lunch, I think back to the typical casual conversations I had with my old friends. I never really became that close to many people there. I would usually just hang out with the same few groups of friends talking about the latest popular trending show or game that came out. I wonder if I'll have anything more meaningful than that, or if it's just something you have to get lucky enough to find for yourself. Am I at an advantage or disadvantage now that I have a fresh start? On one hand, I don't know anybody that well yet, so I can make myself anew if I want. A tabula rasa, ready to be molded into whatever I want, or whatever a new friendship calls for. On the other hand, pre-existing friend groups might not have any incentive to open the door and ruin their current group's synergy. I wouldn't really blame them for that, I guess. At any rate, everyone seems to be getting along whether they are a monster person or a regular human. Does the religious nature of the school have anything to do with that? I hope merely being a part of a larger faith community is good enough to open the door for anyone hoping to belong. Surely it is, right? As I continue to think of myself in the hallway, I run to Arya, who I recall wasn't outside during lunchtime. I wonder if the whole Jaywalker thing has anything to do with it, considering the sunlight. Instead of calling out to her, but changed my mind at the last second. Why would she want to talk to an underclassman anyway? Despite my insecurities, she looks up and notices me approaching. This catches me off guard, so I make a bold move to greet her. Hey. Smooth. She continues typing on her cell phone, seeming to ignore me when she suddenly greets me back. Hey there, Gabe, was it? Since I ran into her yesterday, I've been curious about what kinds of things she was writing in her phone. She didn't deny being an author, but I get the feeling that she wasn't exactly writing a novel. Still making notes in your phone? Sure, not that it's anyone's business. Point taken, but I'm curious. Her looks back to her phone briefly and starts typing again, as if she never looked up in the first place. Song ideas, lyrics, musical notations. I play guitar, so it helps to keep notes when I don't have anything next to me. Okay, I can see that. Punk accessories, goth-type makeup, standoffish attitude. But I mean, to profile, but she fits the bill. Yes, racism, yes. That's a new one for me, but I get to hear any of it during music class. I did sign up for that as an elective after all. Probably not, we mostly do prior songs and popular music. I was asked to play once or twice, but I think they've given up asking me to perform during class. Probably don't want to force anything. I know she's not religious considering what Father John said about her, so I'll probe a bit further and see why that might be. You religious songs, or since you were in the church and all? Religion and I don't really get along. Spiritual, at least then? Depending on how you look at it, maybe. That still doesn't explain why she was in the church. I have to ask more specifics at another time. I don't want to push the issue much, after all, despite my curiosity. I won't keep you from your thoughts anymore. She seems typing on her phone while walking beside me. Not very sociable, I guess, but at least she didn't shut me down. Still curious to me how a daywalker of all things came to be enrolled in a Catholic high school. Might be biased from living outside of their world, but to my understanding that all vampires are evil due to how they become vampires. I know better than to judge a book by its cover. I'm willing to bet it's more complicated than that. Nobody wants a free will can automatically be condemned as evil without the possibility of redemption. I should get around to asking Damien about that sort of thing. After all, Father John suggested I should get to know more about monster people since I'll be around them a lot more now. He's kind of fixating on the monster people. Is that just me? Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You're very weird, Gabe. It's turning into a fetish. Seems to organize circles. Others seem to have started right away. Some run or part of a formal group. Other groups of students head straight towards the bleachers to socialize or read by themselves. Kind of defeats the purpose for a class to be moving around, but I'm sure it's a welcome break for some. Comes to me a surprise when Aria walks past me and takes a seat at the bleachers, still on her phone. Sticking by in a lot of different grades for electives. That means I'll have her both music and gym class. Also in the bleachers, I spot Clover, who's in a deep conversation with Ava. Ava looks like she's totally ignoring Clover while she reads a book. What a dynamic duo. Noticeably, Damien's absent from the whole picture, and she gets an excuse from PE due to student council duties. At my other school, we used to do whatever activity or sport the PE coach directed everyone to do, but it appears that this school has a bit of choice. It's a matter of if I'm feeling more active and competitive today or not. To see how my skills match up to Ren, or just get to know the lazy bums on the bleachers a bit better. Or I have a chance to choose, Ren calls out to me. New guy, you better get geared up. I'm not letting you skip out on your first day here. That's my mind is made up for me. In that case, it's time to get my blood pumping and stretch out those muscles. It's a good thing I kept up my daily morning workout so I won't get too out of shape for this. I head towards the group in which Sarah and Ben are stretching. As I approach, Sarah beams a bright smile towards me. To her side, a short cat-type monster dwarf sizes me up. Would you show off those skills you have against Ren? I'm not quite sure if I'm ready for a true test of my skills against Ren quite yet, but I'll humor her. You're on. Let's do this. I look over that crap while I'm wondering why she's staring at me. By the way, this is Maya. She's a senior on the girls' basketball team. Nice to meet ya. She pushes her fist forward for a fist bump. I respond by bumping fists with her. Can't wait to see what you're made of. From what Ryan and Sarah tell me, you're hot stuff. I didn't go quite that far. We split into two roughly equal groups. Put on team of Sarah and Maya while Ren joins up with a shark boy with a terrifyingly smug grin and another human like me. Human I recognize from my homeroom class, but the shark guy must be from the other junior homeroom. Fortunately, I don't have to wait long to find out their names as they both approach me to shake my hand before the match. Hey new kid, the name's Jack. I'm a star player of the guys' basketball team. I'll be keeping an eye on you to see if you're worth scouting. And if you're not a basketball team, I've been looking for a new rival in the martial arts club. I'm Ray, by the way. You can call me King, because I'll be the king of martial arts by the end of the year. Great, as if Sarah and Ren weren't bad enough, now I have two more students intent on pulling me into the very same clubs. They both seem to be vying for the top position at each of their clubs. Looks like I've got a lot of competition ahead of me if I go down those roads. Either way, now's my chance to impress them if I want to join either team. For now, I'm just glad that I won't have to completely depend on my own average fitness versus Ren's superior athleticism. She may be a girl, but Ren is still a little taller and much more fit than me. Just as I'm thinking this, Sarah and Ren approach me again with a proposition. Want to make things a little more interesting, new guy? How will you make a bet? My team wins, you come and check out the martial arts club after school sometime this week. Deal? I don't see the harm in that, but what do I get if I win? How about you check out the basketball team instead? We can settle this once and for all. Yeah, that's not both in an obligation for me. Don't I get a say in this? My protest went unheard. Alright guys, I know we don't usually bother counting score in gym, but I want to put Gabe here to the test, so first team to 40 wins. Everybody cool with that? Everybody nods in agreement. I have to have a more serious game to play than usual. I expect that they're just as excited to know my potential as they are to play seriously against Ren. One of the students takes the basketball for the initial toss-up, one takes the center of the team, and I take that place for mine. We look seriously in each other's eyes with a competitive grin, ready to act as soon as the ball is in the air. The student drops the ball low, then throws it up in the air between us. And Ren already has me beaten high by an inch or two, but the height at which she jumps astounds me. I'm not even close to touching the ball at the point where she grabs and tosses it back to her teammates. He drove it down the court and passes it back to Ren for a layup, scoring their first 2 points. Looks like we're in for a tough game. Don't underestimate her. I mean, I didn't expect you to. But she's one of the best for the reason. We're gonna get mobbed! Time to put into high gear then. I have to lock in. I had myself up and tried to go for beast mode. Sorry, that took me off guard. Focusing my attention, readying my muscles, and preparing to win. Beating just takes a different state of mind. It doesn't matter what you call it. Whatever it takes you to focus yourself on your goal. In order to channel that focus, I should put myself in the mindset of a famous basketball player. This is my job. Dad was always talking about again. Which game's fast priority do I focus on? Oh, isn't Curry dead? Isn't Stephon Curry dead? Bruce Lee. Hold on. I channeled the energy of the great basketball player. Bruce Lee. That doesn't sound right. In the meantime, I feel compelled to do a backflip next time I do a 3-point shot. Although I resist the urge, I still miss. Hold on. Curry. Stephon is one of the few basketball players that openly admits to being Christian and makes it a big part of his image. I didn't know that. He's not afraid of the situation being known and has been quoted saying things that can do all things in Christ who strengthens him. I try to think of something he would say to encourage me to make this game a victory. I've never been afraid of big moments. I get butterflies, I get nervous and anxious, but I think these are all good signs that I'm ready for the next moment. That's right, even if I'm nervous about my actions while playing, they're just signs of adrenaline. I use this wisdom and determine myself to focus on my shooting. And focus I did, because my next 3 baskets were nothing but net. Lucky. We kept up a decent pace for the rest of the match, and everyone's spirit still seems into it. Ren is clearly the MVP of the opposing team, as I suspected, though the rest of them are certainly giving them their all too. However, with Maya on board our team, there seems to be an even match against theirs. As you get into a 30-point range, it seems like the game is going to be neck and neck. I stood a ball from the opposing team and speed past all the rest when I see Ren charging towards me from the front. If I can make the shot past her, it'll give us a real advantage, not to mention a good confidence boost. And as Maya opened near the back, but that gap might close soon if I don't decide quickly. Then again, I could probably make the shot from here if I try before Ren makes it to me. Ren grins at me as she continues her forward sprint. I gotta make a quick choice. What would Stephen Curry do in this situation? Do I... Hold on, I need to see... How do I load? Oh, I just don't get to load. Okay, main menu. I need to see what would Bruce Lee do. Neck and neck. I noticed Maya near the basket, but she has another student guarding her closely. Not very confident that I can make the shot either. What options do I have in this situation? I gotta make a quick choice here. Oh, nothing special, fine. What would Stephen Curry do? Pass it to Maya. Better play it safe and pass it to Maya. That way the pressure is off me so I can focus on dodging the giant dragon girl who's just short of taking me out. So if you toss the ball to Maya, executing perfect bounce pass through 2 members of the opposing team and onto her hands. She readies herself, placing both hands on the ball and takes a quick jump shot, guiding the ball into the hoop in one swift motion. Meanwhile, Ren continues her forward momentum, eager to stop me from taking action. I don't know what she's thinking, but she's getting awfully close to hitting me. Then smack. Ren's body collides in the line, sending me flying backward into my rail and sliding back further another few feet. Sorry about that. Sometimes I get a little too enthusiastic and lose my sense of depth. Ren continues over to me and offers a hand to help me back up. I graciously accept the offer. In the background, I hear Sarah, Maya, and the rest of our team celebrating our victory. Although Ren just helped me up, I can tell she just realized that she just lost the game. A good game. Guess the new kid's better than he looks. Ren says this with a hint of salt, but she still tries to keep it together. The smoke coming out of her mouth certainly doesn't... doesn't help her maintain an image of control. If anything, holding back the smoke by gritting your teeth only intensifies the intimidation factor. Ren stomps off to the rest of her team and starts practicing shooting drills. I see now. Played it before, really. Seems okay. So far, nothing too bad's happened. I honestly didn't think it'd be very good, but it's fine. It's fine. Gabe's a little racist freak, but he's alright. Guess I tried to avoid making her angry in the future. A second later, I heard three people approaching me from behind. Poor Burr, she's a bit of a sore loser sometimes. When she was in the team freshman year, that was a real problem for a while. It's a fun game, but it does kind of ruin the spirit of things acting like that. Hope we can reconcile over things once she's cooled off. Anyway, that was a super great game, by the way. Didn't know if we could pull it off, but the way you looked out there really got me hyped up for some reason. Some quick thinking to pass the ball to me despite run charging at you like that. Definitely have what it takes to join the team with a little more training, of course. Yeah, the game's the proof that I needed to know that you'd make perfect addition. I gotta say, it was pretty fun to get out of there and compete again. I'll give it a lot further consideration. You keep saying this. It's better. We did bet on it after all. It's getting close to time for the next class to start, so I'll see you there tomorrow, hopefully. I mean, not that I have any input or agreement on the bet, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to show up tomorrow at least. Wish the game had voice acting. Fair. By that time the bell rings and the rest of us hurry to the locker room and change before we are late for the next class. After the final bell rings, Sister Talia reminds me to pick up a book from the library so I can get started on the assignment. Greeted by a familiar sound of silence as I arrive despite the chatter in the hallway. I don't see anyone behind the main counter. Was I wrong about my assumption about someone being on staff after school? Matter, I can find my way around the library just fine. Might become a problem when I need to check out, however. In my survey of the library, I hear a bunch of tapping and clicking in the other direction. I spy a familiar pair of shiny blue antennae from behind a chair. Clover's sitting back in the library chair in front of an elaborate setup. Oh, she's gaming. She's got YouTube on. She's got a 2-monitor setup. They have a branded mouse. School branded mouse. Evil. Her attention is focused on a game she's playing. Whoa, she's playing a mage. Isn't that a little heresy? Isn't wizards evil? I wonder if the school knows what exactly she's using the computer for, or if they even care. Slime people are real slight, so I'm more than a bit curious about her and whether or not slime people are actually from outer space like the rumors say. Or I'm too scared to ask her anything pertaining to her race. I'm still not very comfortable talking about things like that, but I sure do think it a lot. Maybe I'll ask Damien later. Like, I also think a lot. Instead, I guess I'll just see what she's up to. I haven't played many games recently, so I can see her opinion for something new. Hey! Looking back at me, Clover greets me with a short wave. Yeah, what are you up to here? Saving the world from powers of darkness? That and more. I look over Clover's shoulder at her emotions. The main one hosts monitors. The main one hosts the main game she appears to be playing. The other is showing multiple smaller windows filled with flashy graphics. Some of them even appear to be playing themselves. Clover was right this morning. Clover really is an intense gamer. The setup is pretty impressive considering you're only using the school's computers. Yeah, I had some tweaking to get it to work, but I needed a screen for each of my monitors back at home. That way I can multitask here at school until my dad comes and picks me up. You don't just take a bus? I'm not very fond of public transportation. It's mostly impatience. I can get more done if I start gaming here. Besides, my dad isn't usually home until late. So what are you playing? Looks like that final 14th Nights game I've been seeing some trailers for. Ew! Final Fantasy 14! Ew! I'm getting ready for the new expansion that'll be coming out in December. Pre-expansion patch events are dropping soon, so I need to corner the market in materials. And all the other windows you have up, most of those are modded in Windows to my home PC, running mobile game emulators using bots to play gacha games. Whoa! Real! Also, using remote PC is neat. Good idea. I think I understand at least half of that. I understand all of it. Weakling. Mobile games are just phone games. Emulators, I guess, simulate a phone on a computer. And gachas are those games where you use in-game currency or real money to collect characters to do battle for you. Sounds complicated. Not once everything is set up. Usually focus on one game at a time and let those bad boys go in the background farming for EXP or evolution materials. Real. That is over my head, but I do game enough that I get the concepts. I only use to games where XP is awarded by directly fighting. It seems like an overcomplication to grind XP as an item, then assign it to a character. It is! It's clear that she's an MMO and gacha addict, though. What Sarah told me before, she's lucky that she's naturally smart, or her brain would probably be mush by now. Anyway, I should get to the book for the assignment I came here for in the first place. Because you haven't read yours despite being called out this morning? You would be correct. Figured. Guess I'll figure out which one I want on my own. Nice talking to you. See you around. Later. Clover briefly waves as she spins back in her chair towards the computers. Nothing seems to phase her concentration when she's gaming, I guess. Right, now I should grab a book for my assignment. I leave myself in thought for a bit, trying to decide which one to pick. I notice the main counter is now occupied by Ava. Seems like she's already lost in the book despite not having been there before. Wonder where she was before. Considering her position now, she must have been at the library after hours. I don't think I've ever seen her around campus without a book, so it shouldn't surprise me she maximizes her time in the library. Still concerning which of these 3 titles I should pick, I should ask Ava to get her opinion on things. Suddenly I hear Ava's voice from behind the counter. Gabe. Hey Gabe. I turn my attention back towards her. She beckons me with her hand to come to the counter. You decided which book you wanted? I actually have each of them here since I knew you'd be coming. Must have been where she was while I was with Clover. How very thoughtful of her. I mean, I did it for the whole class last week too, so it's not just for you. Anyways, just let me know which one you'd like. She shyly turns her face as she says this, like she said something embarrassing. Odd. As a matter of fact, I haven't been able to make up my mind about which of the 3 books I should pick for the reading assignment. Which one did you read? Ava hesitates for a second, looking a little embarrassed, and a somewhat small voice replies, I read all 3. Okay, I didn't expect that much dedication to reading. Ava must really spend all her free time in books then. That's even better. She'd be the best person to ask for an unbiased opinion on each. Which do you think I would get the most out of? It would pull allegorical fiction, then Screwtape Letters is an obvious choice. It follows a conversation between higher and lesser demons through letters as they try to corrupt souls. During the story, you learn how to recognize and avoid the traps demons try to lay for us. Sounds like it would be an interesting way to look at the faith through storytelling. I'm interested for sure. As for non-fiction, mere Christianity is a bread and butter of shared Christian theological. It's a lie to take on apologetics that most people should be able to grasp. It could be beneficial to see what things all Christians, whether Catholic or Protestant, have in common, the 2 only branches of Christianity. And I know I've heard this title somewhere before, so it must be popular. Lastly, The Abomination of Man is a deeper dive into Christianity and theology that criticizes and warns about moral subjectivity, focuses on natural law arguments throughout. Moral subjectivity, natural law? I'm not sure I understand what either of those mean. Oh, well. Natural law is a theological term that refers to why things are the way they are, and through observational nature, and why the world, as well as truth extracted from such observations. I don't English well. It's just... Thank you. As for moral subjectivity, the thought of whatever is true to me might not be true to someone else. Opposite of this moral objectivity, which states the morality is unchanging regardless of the subject or person, but dependent instead on the object situation. That is what Lewis argues in favor of. Don't worry if it's over your head, it doesn't come easy for everyone. Then again, if you want a challenge, it'll get you thinking for sure. This one seems like it has real substance. If you want to get a deep dive into some philosophy-based theory, this might be a good start. And even though it looks like it's about half the size of the other books, I'm betting that it'll take me just as long to comprehend it as to read it, since the subject matter is so dense. By the time she finishes the final book explanations, Ava realizes how long and confidently she's been talking and blushes a bit. Just let me know which one you'd like, she said with a lot of info on each book to think about. Which one should I pick? Personally, I'd probably choose Screw Tape Letters. Also, the abolition of man seems interesting. Yeah, Screw Tape Letters. I think we're Screw Tape Letters. Nothing like fiction to solidify a real point. After all, Jesus often spoke in parables. Good chase, I think you'll like it if you're into apologetics, I mean. Word that means in defense of something. In the context of fiction novel, it means in defense of the Christian faith. Apologetics is the means by which a person defends their perspective, position against opposing thoughts. I mean, rather, I'm thinking of getting into it since I haven't really taken my faith that seriously. I heard good things about C.S. Lewis' works on this subject. Hopefully this opens a few doors for you. If you have any apologetics questions, feel free to ask me anytime. That is, unless you want to ask Father John or Sister Talia, since I'm sure they're both more wise and experienced as spiritual guides. I'm sure your advice will work just fine. I'll keep you in mind if I have any questions. Thanks. Ava grabs the books from under the table, scans a brand new library card, scans books, and hands both to me. Pays off to be the new kid, huh? Don't let it go to your head. It's not like I'm treating you any differently than anyone else. Kidding. Thanks for the help. While she's doing all this, I take the opportunity to get to know her a bit better. What kind of books do you normally read, specifically, I guess? I know Clover suggested romance. It cuts me off by dropping the book in front of me and clearing her throat. Guess that's a dangerous road to travel for her. Oh, I'd like to dip my toes in many different genres, both fiction and non-fictional. So you're a well-rounded jack of all trades? I could say that, but not a master of any. I take pride in my large varieties of books I read, not just the quantities. Would you have any recommendations for me aside from obligatory academic reading? Ava thinks to herself, bit eyeing me for a second, then continuing to conclusion. Pick a genre. Anything. Yep, give me a genre and I'll give a few recommendations for each. Let me think. What am I in the mood for right now? Okay. Fantasy, sci-fi, philosophy, romance. Give me romance. After I say that, Ava gets tense and her face turns a surprisingly deeper shade of red. I'm honestly impressed, but I should stop. Never mind about that. No! Should ask for in other genres. Romance. It's just a loop! Boo. Sci-fi. Thanks for a moment, takes a deep breath, and then unloads a handful of sci-fi recommendations. Asimov is my go-to for sci-fi. with a short story collection or two from him, maybe iRobot, or a general best of book. Oh, Asimov made iRobot. I like the movie with Will Smith. I say watch the movie because it's really good, but I guess you can read the book without Will Smith in it. For modern sci-fi and even pseudo-religious philosophy, you could try Ted Chiang's short story collections. He has some very unique ideas that often binds physiology, technology, and religion. Finally, I count dystopian novels as sci-fi. If you hadn't read 1984, Animal Farm, or Brave New World, it would benefit you to do so. I know I need to read those. Be quiet. Also, 1984 is not fiction, not to me. Half of these seem to be short story collections. Not that there's a problem with that. Sometimes if there's a point to be made, it should be made short and sweet. So ask for recommendations in other genres. Okay, I get to ask and all. Fantasy books. You can go wrong with The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, which is from a Catholic author, no less. Then there's the Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. They're not books for young adults, they can still be very relevant. Lastly, a few personal favorites of mine. The Earthsea Cycle series, which starts with the Wizard of Earthsea and the Dragonlance trilogy. Considering how long fantasy series usually are, I don't know if I'll ever have time for all of them. Maybe I'll just pick up one or two for now. Fantasy, sci-fi, philosophy. Looking for broaden my horizons outside just apologetics. Thanks for a moment. Person Jeek. Oh, you get a whole entry. Someone likes this one. Pretty much all of his books are witty and religious, but also philosophical. There it is. Try Heretics or Orthodoxy first and follow up with The Everlasting Man if you like his wit. The heavy stuff, you can try Aristotle's Poetics and Ethics, Plato's Dialogues or Republic, or check out Augustine's Confessions. For the heavy stuff, you can try Aristotle's Poetics and Ethics, Plato's Dialogues or Republics, or check out Augustine's Confessions. For more political philosophy, you can try the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers, the Gulag Archipelago by Solins. I don't know how to say that name. The Rights of Man by Thomas Paine. Really heavy stuff, but I guess I did ask. What if she's actually read them all? I wouldn't put it past her, honestly. Romance now? Sad. That should be enough for now. The things she recommended should last me a while, even if I start now. As we finish the current topic, I become aware of the fact that the whole time she was listing off books, she had an air of confidence beyond her normal demeanor. When she realizes that I'm reading her face, her body tenses, their tail straight up behind her, but slowly retracts into her normal pose. I guess her passion blinded her from her usual embarrassment. She certainly doesn't seem to back down when she's just with Clover, however. Maybe she's just not completely comfortable around me yet. Thanks for the recommendations and the signed books. I appreciate it all. Sure thing, you're welcome. See you tomorrow. She from the library and give her a quick wave goodbye, which she replicates. Just have some time to kill before dinner, so I may as well head back to the dorms and relax. As I'm heading through the dorm hallways, I flip through my newly acquired book. I should be able to knock it out if I read 2 or 3 chapters each night. Maybe more if it gets interesting. Observing the plain emptiness of the hallway, I'm suddenly filled with an intense longing. I knew it would be different being away from home, but I'm already missing the security of being in my own house, my own room. Then I start thinking of all the people I've met so far. I wonder if this is going to be worth it. If it's going to help me as I take my first steps into the real world. It really is different being here all alone. At least I'm slowly digging a foothold into this place and making the most out of it. Around the corner and run into Damien. His face is tired as ever. Gabe, yo. How's it going? Damien stretches and lets out a big yawn. Fine, just about to read some more homecoming Just about to get ready for more homecoming planning committee stuff. We'll be settling on a few themes we've been debating, but I'm fairly sure about one of them considering the timing. I had a lot earlier at my other school this year. With anybody special? No, I wasn't really that close romantically with anyone at that school. At least I never got a chance to. I'm reminded of Sophia, the bunny girl from my old school again. I wonder if anything could have ever happened between us. Certainly not at public school. So always this school, do you have your eyes on anyone in class or outside? I hadn't really thought much about it until now, but most of the people I've talked to since coming here have been girls. Cute girls at that. I've never really considered dating a monster girl either, for that matter. Yeah, I'm not that I've thought of dating much in the first place. Just lacking with girls around me, but I doubt anyone would be interested. I wouldn't be so sure. I've seen how some of the girls in class look at you. Don't underestimate your influence as a new student. I had new student appear once, but it was in 2 girls I wasn't interested in. I don't blame myself, but I could've. It would've been interesting. Sure, newness is awkward for the new kid, but attention is attention. It's not like anyone's given you any negative attention so far, right? Suppose not. So I think it might be a bit presumptuous for me to ask a girl to a dance this early. Well, in that case, you're in luck. It's been a tradition at school for whatever reason for the girls to ask the boys to the homecoming dance. This reminds me of the Sadie Hawkins dance traditions I've heard about that use the same basic premise. I'll let you think about it a couple of days, and if you find that you have anyone that you get your eye on, I'm pretty connected. Might be able to put in a good word for you. What do you think? Sure, I guess. Well, a lot of cute girls in class, but I feel more comfortable after getting to know them a bit more first. Fair enough. Not changing the subject or anything, but do you mind if I had to take you up on your offer from yesterday? Asking questions about monster people. Sure, ask away. This is a good opportunity to learn more about my fellow classmates, so I should ask as many questions as I can. Okay. Daywalk. So, Father John told me that daywalkers like yourself don't like to be compared to vampires. What's the connection there? Please forgive my ignorance. No worries, man. I asked you to ask, so I shall answer. As far as being compared to vampires, considering our similarities, it's understandable, so I'm not offended when someone has questions. For others, it may be tiresome to hear the same questions over and over, especially when many equate vampirism with being a daywalker. But to start, how familiar are you with vampires? Not that much. Everything I know is through rumors and new articles I've read. There weren't any daywalkers at my previous school or church. I think I've never run into one person until yesterday when I met 2. That's fair considering how rare we are. Let's start from the beginning then. Facts surrounding full-fledged vampires are veiled in mystery, so a lot of their origins comes down to legends and a few modern public cases. According to vampiric legends, a human must pledge their soul to the devil or another demon in an evil ritual, and then die immediately after. Of course, there's also one willingly giving into vampirism case, but in both possibilities, there aren't many public examples to examine. So if they give up their soul or whatever at death, that basically means they're possessed, the walking damned, reprobates. It's all speculation, but the legends are true, then I would speculate so, and so does the church. So if a person turns into a vampire, they lose all their free will, and just like that, no chance for redemption? Again, if everything in the legend are true, then yes, vampires would have to be considered 100% evil beings. Hi Pomf, I'm reading Catholic monster girl dating. It's somewhat interesting. I could see them doing a few interesting things with the characters. I'm just not sure how far they're willing to go. Also, the background artists and character artists are very different people. And it's kind of, I don't know, doesn't mesh too well. church documents I've read say that vampires are the closest things with physical bodies that you could consider demonic. This has to do with how they are supposedly created, which appears to include dying, effectively locking their state of their soul in place. Legends I get, but the end we are. I'm gonna die. 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 Hey, I'm Traube, FlaVR's virtual assistant. I write emails, I text, I'm on my quest to become internet angel. Hello everybody. Hello Seki. Thank you for raiding.
OMG, Seki, hi!
We're playing an okay visual novel. Honestly, I don't feel too much for it. Called Wholesome Monster Girl Academia.
Wow!
It's very Catholic, but otherwise from the evil of being Catholic, it's okay. Nothing crazy's happened so far. Excuse me. Need to drink water. Hello, that's Sam. Okay, the legends I get, but the end we still aren't completely sure this is how one becomes a vampire. Pretty much, the main problem is that the very few public modern cases of vampirism doesn't tell us much. First of all, none of the ones who were captured ever speak of how they returned. It's like they're guarding some kind of shared dark secret. Some say it's part of their pact, though there's no evidence of it. Others say it's because they're feral, but they can speak on the matters too. Either way, it's just one thing they share in common. Secondly, only some of them have had evidence of those supposed rituals ever happening, enough to have me convinced at least. Third, the evidence for vampirism transference comes from a single case where they just piece together a recently turned vampire's journal entries. It seems like there's still an unknown about vampires, so Damien seems pretty convinced of what he's learned about them. Considering Father John's trust in Damien, I'm going to assume that even though the church recognizes vampires as evil, it has no problem with daywalkers. Whatever the case, I have no reason to disbelieve Damien or his source. If I'm interested, maybe I'll check them out later myself. What are the actual differences between vampires and daywalkers? Whereas vampires are said to be able to die from very little sun exposure, we daywalkers are a bit more hardy under the sun. Sun exposure can still give us headaches, nausea, even flu-like symptoms known as sun sickness if we stay out too long. Some of us are fairly nocturnal for this reason, though it's kind of hard to fit into society that way. Is that why you look tired all the time? I figured the student council was just working you to death. No, that's my fault. I get more done if I stay up all night and all day. I can still function due to the increase in vitality, but I'm often tired. As if reminded by this fact, Damon stretches out and lets out a big yawn. Only other curse is that we're basically carnivores. Animal blood works too, but it's not necessary. We can eat and drink other things, it's just not as nourishing, and even if just unappealing. Considering their diet, I've only heard rumors about them drinking human blood too. I'm going to ask about it. Now's a better time than never. Well, human blood. Damien grins at this question, clearly amused by it, perhaps anticipation of what my reaction will be. We can drink it, but don't worry, we don't need human blood to survive. Only two reasons a daywalker would do that, for taste and for practicality. For every ounce of human blood we drink, we can stay out in the sun for 24 hours. Also, it gives us a little boost, sometimes something the effect of a bunch of caffeine or a small dose of adrenaline for about an hour per ounce. I must be reacting with some kind of disgust because Damien feels the need to reassure me about it. Seeing your reaction to this information is clear that you're uncomfortable with the idea, but don't fret. Not every day of Valakra likes the idea of drinking human blood. Some of us go our whole lives without drinking a single drop. For those that want it or need to participate for medical reasons, there's a system set up among blood donation centers to regulate its control. There's a blood shortage in blood banks everywhere, after all, so it's an elective service that's highly rationed, expensive too. I seem to remember reading an article some time ago about a group of daywalkers that would steal from blood banks, though they were quickly dealt with. Back then I thought that daywalkers, like vampires, had to drink human blood to survive. I almost pitied them for it, but with a healthy dose of fear. Still, even if they don't have to live off human blood, it still makes me uncomfortable with the fact they can, just a little less now than before. Other than that, we also have increased vitality and high resistance to disease, or nothing close to mortality. We're also pretty good at concealing our presence. If we don't want to be found, it's hard to find us. It's a lot to take in. Thanks for taking the time to explain it all. Is there anything else I'd like to ask him about? Since that's long, I'll do one more. It might be a bit awkward to ask about succubi, but I'll get it out of the way. What's their relations with demons and sex, if any? It's common conception to have about considering their depictions in various fantasy works and old legends. The succubi you see walking around, humans and monster kind, are not demonic in nature, but have human nature completely. You have to keep in mind that demons, like angels, are completely spiritual by nature, so to call something with a physical body a demon just doesn't make metaphysical sense. Some attribute their appearance to the same legend of Nephilim that is said to have caused most of all variations, but nobody truly knows the answer. As for sexual stuff, while I know that succubi do have some unique qualities about them that can be related to that. For instance, when a succubi likes someone or even more strongly feels love or infatuation, might produce a very sweet scent that some might find alluring. The thing is, usually only the object of affection is said to have the ability to smell it. Besides that, they do have the unique ability to influence dreams, their own and others. But that's why Ava reads all the time. Perhaps she's lucid dreaming in each of her novel fantasy worlds. That must be nice. So anything else like that? We'll do slime girls too. I've been curious about slime girls. I don't even know where to start the questions about their physiology, much less to start with the rumors about them being aliens. Yeah, they can be complicated. People to piece together, if you pardon the pun. They're probably the most versatile monster people I've met. They can eat and absorb nutrients by putting food and really anything with the calories in any part of their bodies. Of course, they seem to be able to control this, so there's no risk of being digested yourself if you happen to come in physical contact with one. They seem to not really like the cold very much, but they also seem to be able to control their temperatures too. Inside their bodies, they have solid core which hosts the control for their whole body. Heart, brain, nerves, whatever magic that keeps them together. They can also take just about any shape, though if they aren't used to being in a shape, they can look kind of funny. Just ask Chloe to show you a few funny head shapes of animals. She likes showing them off for a laugh sometimes. But just answer one question I like to know. What about them being from outer space? Is Clover a real-life alien? I've heard the rumors too, but honestly, it's nothing. It's never been enough for me to bother looking up. All evidence I've seen points to conspiracy surrounding Area 51 and scientists wanting to experiment on slime people for their regenerative properties. Who knows if any of it's true? If you ever do research on the matter and find something tangible, let me know. Dragonkin harpies? No. Don't care. I think I'll ask you later. I think that was productive and fairly enlightening. Hopefully I asked all the right questions and to avoid any further misunderstandings. Either way, I can always come back to him again and ask more specific questions I have concerns about. By the time I get going, I need to scarf down some food before the meeting. The government is hiding slime girls from me. Good luck out there. You too, I guess. Demon resumes at a steady pace down the hallway, waving one hand in the air behind him as his farewell. I wave back in the same manner despite him not being able to see me. and that's the futility of doing so too late. Think back on my conversations with Damien, I wonder to myself if I do have any feelings for any of the girls in my class. Pretty much all of them are funny towards me. If any of them were to have a crush on me, that'd be icing on the cake. I look out here with not only friends but potential girlfriend material too. I shouldn't get too full of myself. It's better to remain humble. I'm not here to date anyone necessarily. I never really dated anyone too seriously in the past either, so it's not like I got any real experience. At least here I won't have any radical problems to deal with. Everyone seems to be getting along just fine regardless of their human or monster status. It's just better for me to focus on friendships for now. If something blossoms naturally from that, that's fine by me. That's the way things should be, shouldn't they? Dating should be with a good friend who you share many common interests with, aside from the obvious physical attraction, right? Putting that aside for now, I better get started on this book so I can finish next Monday. I say when... Oh, we're still going, okay. Next day, on the which first class, I pondered what Damien said about the homecoming dance. I don't want to be awkward about it, but I'm curious what the girls in my class think about it. Fortunately, I don't have to wait long. I overhear a few of the girls huddled around each other discussing just that. So Sarah, have you gotten the eye on anyone this year of the... I'm having a hard time reading. We are not streaming much longer. Drink water. Have you got your eye on anyone this year for the homecoming dance? I might have found an idea for someone, but I still haven't decided. Pretty busy with the homecoming committee itself, after all. I might be too busy with that to ask someone. What about you, Clover? You know I'm not into big school spirit things, much less anything that extroverted. That's a hard pass for me. You, Ava? Oh, if someone were to ask me, it would depend on their personality and stuff, I guess. You know, that's not how it works. I'm gonna have to ask whoever you want to take you on a date if you want to go. Hero pushes Clover with her book in retaliation for a teasing. There's just not anyone who sparked my interest yet, maybe. Not that there's anybody like that around here. Not even the new guy, Gabe. She purposely says my name a bit louder than the rest and looks over in my direction with a smirk on her face and trouble in her eyes. Ava responds with a blushing scowl. Clover, that's enough. Leave poor Ava alone. Okay, fine. Just then Ren walks in and greets the group. What's everyone talking about huddled up? It's just an interest in talking homecoming. Do you have anyone you're asking? Not really, though I wouldn't mind going with friends to just party. Besides, it's okay to let loose every once in a while. Definitely, I can wait to make this an event everyone remembers. As the conversation concludes, Sister Talia walks in and has everyone take their seats. Morning, class. As you're all aware, the homecoming dance theme was decided last night as a Monster Mash theme. So, since it's so close to Halloween, it was decided that instead of something formal, everyone will come in costume. Now, I'm sure you're all excited, but don't let it go in the way of your studies. Everybody open your books to the page. And so class continues as usual until lunchtime. Really, we're... Monster Mash, isn't that a little racist? What if I dress up as a vampire? Won't somebody take offense? After grabbing food from the cafeteria, I journey outside again. The courtyard is as busy as ever. Today, however, I do not see Sarah and Ren in the same place as before. I can see in groups of students, so I notice Clover and Ava sitting together in the shade of a giant oak tree. Ava's reading a book with one hand when eating, while Clover chants animatedly beside her. The way they can multitask like that astounds me. I might not know much about them yet, but it would probably be beneficial to reach out to people my own On my own for once, I make a resolute decision to casually tread in their direction, dodging through the few people passing by. I try to catch a glance of the title of the book I was reading, but it's just the wrong angle for me to see. As I approach, Clover looks at me with her tired gaze. "And if I sit here?" Clover continues her stare in my direction, analyzes me for a moment before giving me a droopy, dopey grin and answering, "Wouldn't mind at all. What's up, new guy?" "Not much. Still getting my bearings and figure I'd stick with faces I know, and then, I guess to get to know them better." Our faces? I mean, get to know you guys a bit more since we haven't really interacted much. Great. Awkward start. Self-introductions aren't really my strong point, but that's okay. The hard part's over. Now to build up from here. How do you know each other? Well, I go to the computer lab after school, as you know, from yesterday, and since that's part of the library, Ava and I end up running into each other most days. Your dad picks you up, right? Yeah, like I said yesterday, he works late most days, and I'm too impatient for the bus. Unless I need more computer power for the bigger games, of course. Of course. Your mom doesn't pick you up because? She's deceased. Ah, my bad. I assume she also worked later, as I should be more sensitive to subtleties in speech. Don't worry about it. She passed away when I was too young to remember her. My dad talks about her often, though, says I remind him of her in some ways. It's good, I suppose. Apparently, she was a scientist. It's like mother like daughters, and Clover seems to know her way around the computer and then some. That, sure. Also, this is going towards the slimes are made in a lab theory. More than me, for sure. While Clover and I are talking, I notice Ava peeking her eyes out from over her book as if she's interested in conversation but doesn't want to be obvious about it. I take this opportunity to include her despite the fact that she is busy reading. What book are you reading now, Ava? Who's my favorite? Probably one of these two. Maybe The Daywalker. Arya, I believe. But, like, she just hasn't gotten any screen time, so I don't know about her. But these two are pretty alright. I can respect somebody gacha gaming. Gacha grinding at that. She does lose a little points for playing FF14, though. She tries playing it off like she's still engrossed in the book. Nothing particularly interesting right now. I'm catching up on a romance. That's your favorite, right? He blushes at this and gets flustered. A fantasy series. I was saying that I'm catching up on a fantasy series. And it has romance in it, but it's not a romance. Same thing, right? Most fantasy games I play don't have romance in them, so I wouldn't call them romance, but yours does. But yeah, what about your visual novel things? What do those count as? Those can be sci-fi and fantasy too, you know. These two seem amusing together. Definitely close since they're used to teasing each other, but only Ava seems to get flustered over it. My intuition about Clover being a troublemaker was right on the money. How about you? What kind of things are you into? Are you a gamer, reader, athlete? Yeah, a little bit of everything, really, but if I had to pick a hobby I was especially into, it'd be... I have to think about it a little bit. I really do dabble in a lot of hobbies, but I don't have anything in common with these two that might build up an early friendship. Maybe I prefer something they wouldn't care for. Especially honest with myself and others. There's no point in starting off a friendship under false pretense. Self-improvement! Anime! Hold on, we got some good options here. Anime! I've been binging old anime at night before bed while trying to keep up with the new seasonal stuff. Oh, my bold of you to bring up anime as a hobby in front of two girls you just barely met. No fear, I've been doing the same for a long time. I dabble in a few sci-fi shows as well, though I mostly watch them on the side while gaming them on my primary monitor. Doesn't that make it difficult to follow the action and story? It's no problem, really. I'll focus on the show when it's more interesting, or when I'm just grinding levels on an art character or something. Disgusting 14 player. Cause, you know, slime. I can do things with my eyes that lets me... Clover, stop, don't weird him out. Clover laughs at this, but stops anyway. I think I get the picture. That's pretty convenient. Weird, sure, but convenient nonetheless. Fiction continues along the signs still. I want to see more. Self-improvement. When I say a little of everything, I really mean it. I guess more specifically, I like to make sure I keep fit, eat healthy, and keep my mind active. I don't seem too big on sports or anything. I've never really done any organized sports, but I'll go to the gym sometimes or go for a jog when I have time. I stay well read or spend time cooking a decently healthy meal for myself. While I'm speaking, Ava seems to be eyeing me up and down as if praising whether or not I look as fit as I claim to be. She perks up at the mention of cooking, however. You cook any specialties? Parents were adamant that I stay involved in the kitchen growing up so I could become self-sufficient. I'm not. Because of that, I do know some home recipes, but I can probably make just about anything with a recipe in front of me. Now, I can't say it would be any good, just edible and recognizable. I think you got Ava interested. You're just the right type for her. Clover snickers to herself. Clover blushes, but then smacks Clover on the head with her book. Whatever, Clover. Anyone can appreciate a good cook, right, Gabe? Sure. 1 second. Better if you can make something for others to enjoy too. Reading. I've been meaning to research more about apologetics in the lives of the saints, or maybe even pick up a sci-fi or fantasy series too. I need to talk to Link about different genres, but I wouldn't have taken you for much of a reader in the first place, and I'm judging you or anything. If it looks bothered that she might have upset me or something. It's fine, it's not like I have a book in my hand at all times like you seem to. I consider myself more of a casual reader compared to you. If you need any more recommendations, come by the library after school again, since I'm usually there anyways. Recently I got a new laptop for school, but I made sure to get one that can handle most modern games coming out. What kind of games do you play? A handful of popular ones, but also some indie hits. RuneScape, CS, This doesn't work. No, I can't. How am I supposed to... Cave Tale and Understory. Am I supposed to say Undertale and Cave Story? Or Cave Story and Undertale? This doesn't... You can't... This isn't fair. I need to play Cave Story at some point. Your palette of games seems very well rounded. I'm impressed. Do you play fun? No! No! I never played any games with this subscription before, but maybe you can talk me into it sometime. Cave Story's good. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good about it. I need to play that one, a few other indie games. Which one do I want to stick to? Anime. Anime is real. See you around, Gabe. Heading back to the building for our next class. Okay, we'll probably... I was going to change between a few different electives. Since I was a late transfer, physical education was a mandatory default for one of them. When I made a choice, it became a toss-up between music and art for me. Since I don't have an autistic bone in my body, I figured that I would try music. Boo! Pick art! At least I'm not very good at it. I can blend in or even lip sync in the back so I don't stand out. I've never been to a school that has anything other than band class as an elective, so this will be an interesting experience. As I look around the room of people I don't recognize, and even more interesting people of various grades, students are distributed between various electives. I guess they have a mix of different grades of students for this sort of thing. I do spy a familiar face among the crowd, however. Aria is standing around in a corner on her phone as usual, waiting for class to start. I approach her casually as I wade through the other students. Hey. Hey. Guess the mixed grades a lot for the electives, huh? Yeah, I suppose. You play guitar, right? Are you in a band or anything? Maybe. Depends who's asking. Who knows? I could be a music producer out scouting for new talents, or just a student trying to get to know his fellow classmates. Well, I'd probably say screw off to the first one, so I guess it's better that you're likely to be the latter. Probably more boring than the former, but yep, you got me. Aria eyes me up and down as if analyzing me for the first time. Whenever her eyes return to my face, she smirks slyly to herself, as if I'm past some unknown test. Yeah, I'm in a band, but we haven't been able to play as much since most of them graduated high school last year. So they're a bit older? You guys planning to go full-time after you escape high school? That's the dream, but we're obviously not there yet. Because I'm still stuck here and they're working at local stores downtown. Such is the fate of local bands, sometimes. I mean, I hope you guys make it after all. I know it's usually a steep road. It wasn't the best way I could have handled that conversation. I don't know why she makes me nervous like that. She doesn't really intimidate me anything, I think. It must be because she's a senior while I'm just a junior. I'm just a stupid fucking chud. What kind of stuff are you into? Like music? Or he keeps looking at me waiting for an answer. I guess rock's my kind of thing, but I only really have a few favorite bands. We'll try checking out the local bands and supporting them. I guess so. I stopped by a battle of the bands in middle school. Technically, I was eating out at a restaurant with my family and the festival happened to be playing across the street. Does that count? You happen to remember any of the names of the bands that were playing that day? Maybe. I think so. If I think about it, I might remember. Can't remember the name of any of the bands playing. Voting Ninja Pirates. Traveling Extortion. They're pretty in your face. I don't think that band counts as indie, and it's definitely not a local band. Are you sure you know what you're talking about? Is you pop and metal band I've heard about? I thought for sure it was one of them, because I can't fool her. I don't remember much. Voting Ninja Pirates? Can't say I know the band. I know a lot of bands nearby. You sure you went to the Battle of the Bands? Guess that wasn't a real band name? Unity Thai Band. One of the bands that last. I think that's a Japanese rock band. Maybe you're getting confused with someone else. That must have been the name of that band in the anime I watched recently about an indie rock group. Guess I can't fool her. I don't remember much. Just to be told I didn't actually attend. It's more like I heard it from across the street while I was with family. I am willing to learn more about local bands, however. There's always room on my playlist for some new interesting music. I'll give you some recommendations here. Fang Freaks play there that year, by the way. The bass player of that band is in our band now and currently my best friend. She was one of them. She was only with them during her freshman year, but the crazy story she told me about them, I guess I should have told the truth from the beginning. Seems like she doesn't mind my ignorance after all, if I'm going to be open with her. By the way, speaking of bands, you have to let me listen to some of your stuff sometime. Maybe sometime. As the music teacher makes his entrance into the room, Ari and I take our spots near the rest of the students. The music teacher directs us in various vocal exercises to get us started. I do my best to mimic what everyone else is doing. After the warm-up, the music teacher hands out a few pages of sheet music for us to sing. Fortunately, I know this one since it's a pretty common hymn that we sung at my church back home. I feel pretty confident about singing along, even though this version is split up into 4 parts. I do my best to blend in, but this really is the first time I'm singing with other people in a group setting like this. There's something weird that happens while I'm singing in harmony with others. It's hard to explain, but it's like my soul is warm and comes out of my chest, join with the others for the duration of the song. I don't think I'll regret my decision to join the music class. Meanwhile, as I'm singing along with the others, my ears pick up a lot of other students' voices. Aria's in particular is quite striking. She's like me, appears to be trying to blend into the crowd, but I can tell her voice is something different. It rings out crystal clear and perfect pitch, with a little pinch of something unique to it that I can't quite put my ear on. Not that I've ever heard her play guitar yet, but she sounds like she's quite suited for being a vocalist at least. She does sing with them. I wonder if she uses a different vocal style for her band. I can't imagine a voice like her singing screamo or anything that hardcore. Maybe it could have something to do with the inherent qualities of being a daywalker. Racism! After class, as the choir members are disbanding, I approach Aria again, intending to compliment her vocal skills, but she slips away before I can get to her. For now, I just move on with my day and go to my next class. It's just like that, the rest of the day goes by in a blink of an eye. When the final bell rings at the end of the day, I'm reminded of a bet that was sort of made on my behalf yesterday during gym class. 7 and Red were really competitive, and I've been obligated to check out one of their clubs, and since our team won, I think that means I have to check out the basketball team today. Though if I really wanted to, I could go to the martial arts club instead. I'm sure they weren't too serious about their bet, and I can always visit the basketball team with Sarah another time. You know what? No, I don't think I'll be checking either of them out. My voice is dying. I've been reading for 3 hours, that's why. Drink water. What do I say? Kind of a slow start, kind of an awkward start. But I'm getting more used to it, I think. Big stretch. Honestly, not sure if I'll stream it again, though. It's not exactly super stream material. I just played it because I thought it'd be more funny. A lot of the Steam reviews I thought were evil, though. Or... It's safe for work, therefore it's good. Oh, never mind. I think all the reviews are positive. Yeah, they are. Never mind. More like this. Femboy and Fuda House. No thank you, Steam. I'm good. Anything else? Anything else? No, I think that's all. Okay. As always, I've been Traube. You've been great, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for coming. Bye bye.